All right. Well, everybody, you know what I feel like listening to, guys? I don't know why, but I feel the urge to listen to this. Silence. I'm just feeling. I'm feeling millennial today, you know? I'm just feeling it. And no one can stop me. How? What year is it? Listen, Y2K is in, all right? Everyone's bringing back the classics, which means I'm allowed to. Good morning, everyone. I thought you were VTubing. Why would I be VTubing? I'm flesh tubing only. But anywho, rock your body, everybody, rock your body right. You know, I'm gonna be honest. I was never even a Backstreet Boys fan, but this song, that line just hits every time. It does hit every time. Everybody. Anywho, Backstreet Back Hormones, huh? I was an NSYNC girl, but this song is fire. No. Ew, your first bad take. Sorry, guys. I was too busy listening to Panic at the Disco, alright? Leave me alone. Alright. I know that those are slightly different eras, but I am excited for today. It is a Sunday fun day. Panic at the Disco was many years after this. Yeah, I know it's different eras, but I think I was a little too young for Backstreet Boys at the time, at their peak. We have. They should play this song when Hormuz reopens. Real. Okay. Awesome, Bobby. Thank you for the 13 months. We have a lot of stuff. What, you didn't listen to music at 5? No, I was punishing criminals. Right? I don't listen to music. Or the people who know that reference, you got it. Everybody else, sorry. You're going to have to get more in depth on the lore, bro. Moving on. We have a lot to get to today. First of all, happy Sunday fun day to all those who celebrate. I hope you're having a good Sunday morning so far. We have a lot to get to. First of all, I'm sorry. Did hell freeze over? What do you mean I woke up to an Ezra Klein opinion piece saying Hasan Piker is not the enemy? Huh? What? Are we... Okay, now the simulation is breaking, guys. Now I feel like the simulation is broken. All right. I wasn't sure before, but now I'm sure. He's never been really anti-Hassan. Yeah, but he's always been establishment Dem, and the establishment Dem position is to hate Hassan. Not on my bingo card, although at this point. He actually explains in his tweet he meant Hank Pecker. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. So I want to get to that. That's what I do. I play both sides and lose. Ezra Klein, radical centrist. Klein probably just feels like he's having a hot, edgy take. Maybe. I don't know. The bingo card is broken. Moving on from that, I also am very excited to show you all the truth has come out. Yes, there is real footage. I don't think it's TOS to show, but it's video footage of what does Kyle Kulinski say? Joe Rogan sucking Trump's nuts from the back or something. Wow, what a pathetic display. It's so sad and pathetic that every single one of the people that defend Trump, there's always footage of them like kneeling to Trump, and metaphorically, but maybe literally, and saying like, yeah, no, whatever I can do to help you. Yeah, for sure. Anything I can do to help you. And then Trump saying, you're doing a great job. You're doing excellent. Wow, you could be doing more. But you're doing a great job. So I want to get to that. And then, unsurprisingly, to no one's surprise, JD Vance going to Iran and then failing in negotiations and saying, well, this is just the first round, maybe the second round or the third or maybe the fourth round. I don't know. Why did I start doing a Trump impression in the middle of a JD Vance impression? Well, Google couch fucking noise. ASMR. Add to soundboard. There we go. So we have a lot to get to, and then I have some variety stuff to show all of you. He's losing it. The marbles are gone, people. The marbles, they've gone. They've totally gone. So, shall we begin? Let's start with Denim has the worst Trump impression. I'm sorry. You know what? Honestly, valid, King. Valid. You're allowed to think that. I've never claimed to be great at impressions, so that's valid. So, let's start here.
Well, good morning, everybody. And let me say a couple of notes of appreciation. First of all, to the Prime Minister of Pakistan and to Field Marshal Munir, who were both incredible hosts. And whatever shortcomings in the negotiation, it wasn't because of the Pakistanis, who did an amazing job and really tried to help us and the Iranians bridge the gap and get to a deal. We have been at it now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back.
Sure. Clueless. It's much worse for the Iranians.
To the United States, having not come to an agreement, we've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could, and they have chosen not to accept our terms. Questions?
Sir, Nick Robertson from CNN. Precisely what have they rejected here? Can you help us understand it a little bit?
Well, I won't go into all the details because I don't want to negotiate in public after we negotiated for 21 hours in private. But the simple fact is that we need to see an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon, and they will not seek the tools that would enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon. That is the core goal of the President of the United States, and that's what we've tried to achieve through these negotiations. Again, their nuclear program, such as it is, the enrichment facilities that they had before, they've been destroyed. But the simple question is,
what? Yeah, but we've also said that about literally everything that they... Sorry, let me clarify. It feels hard to trust what the president, what the vice president, what any of the cabinet members say about what and what hasn't been destroyed in Iran, and which of their capabilities have been destroyed or not destroyed. When Trump has on multiple occasions, Caroline Leavitt has said on multiple occasions that we've completely decimated their military capabilities, and that they're running out of ammunition, or they're running out of capabilities, and they're running out of like drones and all this other stuff. And then they strike down another fucking F-35, or they strike down another F-15. What?
Do we see...
He literally just said that they have had, and corrected himself mid-sentence.
A fundamental commitment of will for the Iranians not to develop a nuclear weapon, not just now, not just 2 years from now, but for the long term. We haven't seen that yet. We hope that we will. Jen.
Was there a framework on anything? And also, did the Iranian frozen assets come up, and did you reach any conclusions on those frozen assets?
We talked about all those issues, Jen, and we talked about a number of issues beyond that. And so certainly those things came up. But again, we just could not get to a situation where the Iranians were willing to accept our terms. I think that we were quite flexible. We were quite accommodating. The president told us, you need to come here in good faith and make your best effort to get a deal. We did that. And unfortunately, we weren't able to make any headway. Preston.
Your best effort. Your best effort.
President, how often did you
Is the reporter who threw a shoe at Bush still around? We need him again. Classic leftists want extreme violence. You want him to get brutally frame-mogged by a shoe to death. I can't believe this.
communicate with President Trump throughout the negotiations? There were reports that there were multiple rounds where there were breaks in between negotiations. How often did you communicate with the president throughout those rounds, and what was he saying as you were going through these negotiations that you said fell short?
Yeah, obviously we were talking to the president consistently. I don't know how many times we talked to him, a half dozen times, a dozen times over the past 21 hours. We obviously also talked to Admiral Cooper, to Pete, to Marco, to the entire national security team. We talked to Scott Bessent a number of times. So look, we were constantly in communication with the team because we were negotiating in good faith. And we leave here with a very simple proposal, a method of understanding that is our final and best offer. We'll see if the Iranians accept it. Thank you.
Our final and best offer.
Mr. President, where does this leave the Strait of Hormuz?
Did you going back to war,
Prime
sir?
Minister Netanyahu at all today?
What about the Strait of Hormuz?
The chiming. It's so amazing. Please open the strait, please. The fact that Americans tried to sneak 2 tankers through the straits while talks were still ongoing might have been what led the Iranians to decline these talks. No, you don't think it was maybe the fact that we had 2 diplomatic talks that were canceled because we decided to strike Iran? Here's the most recent, oh, my essaying. Most recent essay from Trump. This one is from 2.5 hours ago. So there you have it. The meeting went well. Most points were agreed to, but the only point that really mattered, nuclear, was not. Effective immediately, the United States Navy, the finest in the world, will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz. How are you guys going to be the ones to start blocking the Strait of Hormuz? You can't fire me. I quit. I quit before you fired me. I don't care. I don't care if you actually fired me and then I quit. You can't fire me. I'm quitting. You can't block the Strait of Hormuz. I'm blocking the Strait of Hormuz. I'm going to block it. If I'm the one doing it, you can't do it. Are we serious? Their only move is to do nothing and then take all the credit for the group project. Okay, one second. Let's continue. At some point, we will reach an all being allowed to go in, all being allowed to go out basis, but Iran has not allowed that to happen by merely saying there may be a mine out there somewhere, but that nobody knows about but them. This is world extortion. Famously, the United States has never done that to any country ever. Cuba. This is world extortion, and leaders of countries, especially the United States of America, will never be extorted. I have also instructed our Navy to seek and interdict every vessel in international waters that has paid a toll to Iran. No one who pays an illegal toll will have safe passage on the high seas. Really, the strategy is what? To start bombing Chinese tankers? Yeah, I'd love to see that, dude. Okay. For sure. Yeah, good luck with that, bro. Good luck with that, for sure. The U.S. going to war with China. Fuck off, bro. Literally fuck off. Speedrunning world war. There's no universe where the U.S. does that. This is going to be my iconic Hasan Piker moment that Russia would never invade the United States, or sorry, invade Golpa. What do I know? That Russia would never invade Ukraine. This is going to be my moment where it's like the U.S. is never going to shoot down or fire at a Chinese tanker. That would be all out war. There's no universe where we do that to China. And I'm going to be wrong. Like tomorrow, we're going to start firing at Chinese tankers and I'm going to look like a fucking idiot. What the hell was that? Wait, what's that? Or you seem a little strange. Okay. No, they would be fucking idiots then. I mean, everybody I think agrees that would be fucking insane. It would be fucking insane. Would it even matter if you're wrong at that point? I mean, you're manifesting my love with all due respect. Please shut up, I beg. At least there would be no one left alive to know you were wrong. Denims, I woke up an hour ago from a dream where I was a White House staffer and Trump would not stop whining and complaining like a maniac. I think what you meant to write is, I think you misspelled nightmare. I think that's what you misspelled. Okay, continuing. Any Iranian who fires at us or at peaceful vessels will be blown to hell. Iran knows better than anyone how to end this situation, which has already devastated their country. Their navy is gone, their air force is gone, their anti-aircraft and radar are useless. Khamenei and most of their leaders are dead, all because of their nuclear ambition. The blockade will begin shortly. Other countries will be involved in this blockade. Iran will not be allowed to profit off this illegal act of extortion. They want money, and more importantly, they want nuclear. Additionally, and at any appropriate moment, we are fully locked and loaded, and our military will finish up the little that is left of Iran. President Donald J. Trump. Just, yeah. So how many, what are we at? What count are we at? What are we at right now? Just really quickly. On times that Trump has said, we have totally destroyed their Navy and their Air Force. I'm just curious. Don't worry, Denims, Trump can always make any situation worse. That's true. So in other words, now instead of Iran closing the strait, the U.S. is. Slow clap. Yeah, masterfully done. Cinema. Absolutely cinema. Okay, and then he quote tweeted it to say even more. Someone please put me out of my misery, man. Iran promised to open the Strait of Hormuz, and they knowingly failed to do so. This caused anxiety, dislocation, and pain to many people and countries throughout the world. They say they put mines in the water, even though all of their navy and most of their mine droppers have been completely blown up. They may have done so, but what ship owner would want to take that chance? There is great dishonor and permanent harm to the reputation of Iran and what is left of their leaders. But we are getting beyond all of that. As they promised, they better begin the process of getting this international waterway open and fast. Every law in the book is being violated by them. That is so incredible to say when the U.S. has committed war crime after war crime in the past month against Iran. Amazing. Just literally, this is so peak. Accuse the country that is not doing anything. Sorry, accuse what you are doing, accuse the country that is not doing it of doing it. Incredible. Amazing. Do you think that they're blockading it now because they saw China trying to broker peace and they thought they can use China's worries as leverage? No, I don't think China is even trying to broker peace. I think China is benefiting from. Okay, let me say my personal opinions. China has been on the fast track, entering as a world leader and a world power for the past, I would say, 4 decades. There have been massive initiatives to try and propel China into the world economy as a leader. And now that they've finally done that and proven that they can do that, the only other thing left to do is to show that the other nations in the world are worse or more pathetic. That's the only other way to do it other than war, right? And why would China want to go to war? Like, it's such a waste of resources. If you actually care about infrastructure and improving the lives of the people that live in your country, going to war is a massive waste of taxpayer dollars. It's a massive waste of money. It's a massive waste of lives. And it's a massive waste of like social capital with the rest of the world. So China doesn't really have a strong prerogative or like a strong reason to go to war with other countries for literally no reason. Other than what? Dominance. The only other thing is to make other countries look pathetic like the United States. And the US is the only other major world power comparable to China from China's perspective. So they're benefiting heavily from being one of the few parties in this conflict that has been very reasonable and is saying, listen, what is between Iran and the United States? We have nothing to do with that. We trade with Iran. We trade with the United States. We're going to get our oil and we're going to step out. All right, we're just going to get our oil. We're going to step out. The fact that the U.S. keeps shooting itself in the foot over and over and over again is very beneficial to China. China wants this to last as long as possible. Because, yes, the oil prices are, it's a global market, so oil prices are still going to go up in China as well, even though they're getting oil, because the price of it is determined by the global market. But at the end of the day, they're still getting the energy that they need. And they've been spending a lot of money and a lot of infrastructure and a lot of years building green renewable energy. So, but there's a lot of speculation that they're pressuring Iran to go to the table to make a deal to get most of their oil from GCC countries. Not true. We in the Netherlands have 3 minesweepers and are also a world power contender. Stop. So yeah, I think that a big part of it for China is that it's a huge win-win for China if the conflict continues for a long period of time, they're still getting the power that they need, and they're still being seen as a reasonable party that isn't trying to escalate tensions for no reason. And also, if they force Iran to come to the table, and by force I mean say, okay, that's enough pain for the United States. I think we've humiliated the United States enough. You know what, Iran? The Persian cats may open the strait. We will provide you all the aid you need. You should open the strait. Great. It makes China look even more powerful. The U.S., in all of its power and all of its military capabilities, was incapable of getting Iran to agree to anything. And China, with the most mild wind, the most mild pressure, was capable of pushing a nation to open the Strait of Hormuz, allow oil and allow fertilizer and allow all the other goods that pass through open. Like it's a huge win-win. It's a massive win-win. China's being very clever. They know that they can't be directly confrontational with any Western country if they want to earn trust. The West is still very racist toward Chinese people. Any misstep will unearth hatred. Absolutely. Absolutely. One sec. Okay. Oh, how's the court stuff going? Hope everything is well. Yes, it is going pretty well. Just, trucking along. We'll see what happens in the next couple months, whatever. All right. Feels like China has invested more in stability and trade maxing than becoming a global hegemon. So I think they would rather see this end than continue on forever. Just my read. Personally, I think that the way that China sees it is they're going to go with whatever is the most profitable, social capital wise, not literal capital wise. And it is a win-win for both. Okay. Continuing. They're definitely in the do nothing win mode right now. Yeah. All right, continuing. I have been fully debriefed by Vice President J.D. Vance, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner on the meeting that took place in Islamabad through the kind and very competent leadership of Field Marshal Hasan Munir and Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif of Pakistan. They are very extraordinary men and continuously thank me for saving 30 to 50 million lives in what would have been a horrendous war with India. I always appreciate hearing that. The amount of humanity spoken of is incomprehensible. It is so funny to talk about this when at the time of the agreement between India and Pakistan, both parties agreed that Trump and America was not at that table. The ceasefire agreement and the peace talks and the diplomatic talks, the U.S. wasn't even involved at all in any of those talks. And after the fact, they were like, yeah, we thank you so much, Trump. You were great. You really helped when you did. Let me scratch out nothing here. A lot. Sure, whatever strokes your ego, man. Okay. Modi even denied it initially. Yeah. And then he later said, because every world power, or not every world power, every world leader knows that they have to suck up to Trump so that Trump doesn't decide to like rescind aid or stop trade or raise tariffs. Okay. Continuing. The meeting with Iran began early in the morning, lasted throughout the night, closed at 20 hours. I could go into great detail and talk about how much that has been gotten. But there is only one thing that matters. Iran is unwilling to give up its nuclear ambitions. In many ways, the points that were agreed to are better than than us. Continuing our military operations to conclusion, but all of those points don't matter compared to allowing nuclear power to be in the hands of such volatile, difficult, unpredictable people. Are you talking about yourself, bro? I'm not going to lie, if you live in the United States, or you live anywhere in the world, this is like the worst time. This is actually the worst time for nuclear weapons to be in existence. It's like, I sure hope Trump doesn't randomly decide to nuke anyone. Let's continue. My three representatives, as all of this time went by, became, not surprisingly, very friendly and respectful of Iran's representatives, Mohammed Bagher? Ghali Bef, Abbas Aragachi, and Ali Bagheri, but that doesn't matter because they were very unyielding as to the single most important issue. As I have always said right from the beginning and many years ago, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Bruh. You know what would have been crazy if we had like some type of agreement, some type of nuclear agreement with Iran that allowed us to look at all of their nuclear capabilities, all of their nuclear facilities at any time we wanted and prevented enrichment. Wow. Above, like, what was it, 20%? It was impossibly low. Wow, if only we had an agreement like that. Man. If only. Too bad Iran would never have signed anything like that under any president ever. Okay. All right. Please stop making sense. Americans hate when you do that. You're right. You're so right. I'm sorry.
J.D. Vance, the U.S. Vice President, is due to speak soon.
To the Prime Minister of Pakistan and to Field Marshal Munir, who were both incredible hosts. And whatever shortcomings in the negotiation, it wasn't because of the Pakistanis, who did an amazing job and really tried to help us and the Iranians bridge the gap and get to a deal. We have been at it now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back to the United States having not come to an agreement. We've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could, and they have chosen not to accept our terms. Questions?
Sir, Nick Robertson from CNN. Precisely what have they rejected here? Can you help us understand it a little bit?
Well, I won't go into all the details because I don't want to negotiate in public after we've negotiated for 21 hours in private. But the simple fact is that we need to see an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon and they will not seek the tools that would enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon. That is the core goal of the President of the United States, and that's what we've tried to achieve through these negotiations. Again, their nuclear program, such as it is, the enrichment facilities that they had before, they've been destroyed. But the simple question is, do we see a fundamental commitment of will for the Iranians not to develop a nuclear weapon, not just now, not just 2 years from now, but for the long term? We haven't seen that yet. We hope that we will. Jen.
Was there a framework on anything? And also, did the Iranian frozen assets come up, and did you reach any conclusions on those frozen assets?
We talked about all those issues, Jen, and we talked about a number of issues beyond that. And so certainly those things came up. But again, we just could not get to a situation where the Iranians were willing to accept our terms. I think that we were quite flexible. We were quite accommodating. The president told us, you need to come here in good faith and make your best effort to get a deal. We did that. And unfortunately, we weren't able to make any headway. Preston.
Mr. Vice President, how often did you communicate with President Trump throughout the negotiations? There were reports that there were multiple rounds, where there were breaks in between negotiations. How often did you communicate with the president throughout those rounds, and what was he saying as you were going through these negotiations that you said fell short?
Yeah, obviously we were talking to the president consistently. I don't know how many times we talked to him, a half dozen times, a dozen times over the past 21 hours. We obviously also talked to Admiral Cooper, to Pete, to Marco, to the entire national security team. We talked to Scott Bessent a number of times. So look, we were constantly in communication.
Do you think he just demanded surrender and offered nothing? Well, Iranian officials, I don't remember if it was the Iranian president or somebody else. I'm blanking on the exact person. Iranian officials literally said that they don't want Jared Kushner and they don't want Witkoff. They would much rather speak to J.D. Vance, which is very comical until you remember J.D. Vance killed the Pope. No, I'm just kidding. Not about that. Until you remember that J.D. Vance actually is like a massive cuck. And he will be reasonable. Like, he's not going to come into an agreement or into talks and immediately assume, like, yeah, we are going to get what we want. He doesn't have, like, the ego that Trump has. J.D. Vance is a very malleable person. It's why he's vice president, even though he called Trump Hitler, years ago. So I think there's a reason Iran actually does want to talk to J.D. Vance, and it's because J.D. Vance isn't going to go in there and he's going to go in there and say, listen, Trump wants this and this and this and this. How much of this are we reasonably capable of getting? I'm not an idiot. I get it. You guys are your own country and you need to do what you need to do. And that's why also the reason why J.D. Vance hasn't said anything about Iran, hasn't said anything about the Strait of Hormuz, hasn't said anything about the oil prices, hasn't said anything about any of that stuff. And it's not just because Connor Eats Pants keeps ratioing the shit out of him. It's because he knows he can't argue any of that stuff. J.D. Vance doesn't really engage in the, you give J.D. too much credit. No, I mean, I don't think calling someone a bootlicker and calling someone a cuck is giving them too much credit. I think he just knows his place and he understands that he doesn't get to do what Trump does. Trump will straight up just lie about literally everything and then say, you guys are the ones committing war crimes while the U.S. is committing war crimes. You guys, we're going to close the Strait of Hormuz while they're the ones closing the Strait of Hormuz. You guys have no capabilities, no military capabilities, while the U.S. has been getting absolutely fucking railed by some fucking $7,000 drones, and we're losing $100 billion radar systems. J.D. Vance recognizes that he can't just lie directly to the people he's supposed to be in negotiations with and say, well, you guys we destroyed everything, so you should just give us what we want. I think he was meant to fall on this sword. Trump wanted him to fail the negotiations. I've also seen this theory that, like, Trump sent J.D. Vance to the negotiation table with demands that couldn't be met to allow J.D. Vance to fail. But I guess I'm not seeing the long-term strategy on that. Yeah, saying Vance isn't insane like Trump isn't really giving Vance credit. Yeah, I'm just saying that like Vance is a lot closer to the average establishment Republican where they're down for war crimes, they're down for making the American people live worse lives. They're just not insane. He's just not an insane person who thinks that he just needs to get what he wants no matter what, like a little baby. Also doesn't have fucking dementia, also doesn't ramble about how great he is and how he got these amazing pens or whatever. Strategy is always getting the blame to be anyone but Trump. That's the whole point. Sure, but I feel like he would send someone other than Vance because I don't feel like Vance would. Oh, hi, Mayor Cat. Dude, the back of my chair is so fucked up. Mayor Cat has destroyed the back of my chair. He has absolutely demolished the back of my chair. It's just covered in holes. But it's okay if it makes him happy. I can always get more covers. Oh, who's a good Mayor Cat? Yes, you are. Yes. Mayor Cat, what do the people want? Mao. Correct again, Mayor Cat. Yes. That is what they want. It's what the people demand. All right. Mayor Cat could have gotten a deal done. Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Communication with the team because we were negotiating in good faith. And we leave here with a very simple proposal, a method of understanding that is our final and best offer. We'll see if the Iranians accept it. Thank you.
Mr. President, where does this leave this trade for moves?
Did you going back to war, sir?
Okay, that was the U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance talking after a marathon 21 hours, he said, of discussions with the Pakistan negotiating team and with Iran, and essentially saying that after those 21 hours, unfortunately, they are now leaving Pakistan with no deal. We go back to the U.S. without a deal. Let's go straight to Al Jazeera's Osama bin Javed, who is in the Pakistani capital near the venue of those talks. So there we go. That is the outcome of these talks. What did you take away from that statement from the U.S. Vice President?
Well, it appears that after all of the effort that was put in, there is no deal. There is an understanding on the table that you can take out from that statement, that there is something on the cards that the Vice President...
Do you think the ceasefire will continue? No. I think that there is no ceasefire. And there never was a ceasefire. The ceasefire, the entire purpose of saying that there's a ceasefire was to pretend like Trump had a reason for not nuking Iran after making such an insane tweet saying that we need a deal done by Tuesday. There never was. It was just, it was always a joke. It was always fiction.
Says that is their best and final offer. And I think that is something...
Yeah, the ceasefire narrative was created to get Trump out of the Holocaust Declaration. Correct. Absolutely correct. 100% correct. The only correct answer. You can't make a tweet that says, or a Truth Social post or whatever, as the president of the United States, you can't say an entire civilization will be destroyed. Open the Strait of Hormuz, you bastards, you crazy bastards. You guys better have a fucking deal done by 8 p.m. And then just say, psych. Psych. So we had to pretend like they got something out of it. The United States got something out of it by saying that there was a ceasefire when there was no fucking ceasefire. There never was a ceasefire. They also probably wanted some time to replenish their stuff, get ready for future operations. I mean, that would be true of both sides as well.
Which would, if you were an optimist, giving you some hope that there is still the negotiations.
Forgot to add, inshallah, sorry.
Process is not dead. I was speaking to a source just before we heard that the Vice President is going to be making a statement. And they told me that, well, the good thing is that there is no breakdown, but the bad thing is that there is no breakthrough. And according to the Vice President, well, the bad thing is that they're leaving without a deal. During these talks, it was never going to be easy. We were hearing from various diplomats, various sources, and there was very little concrete information coming out. So there was the first round, then the second round. So we believe there were about 5 rounds, and after every single one of them, there were exchanges of notes between these two sides. So it appears that there is some sort of a wider framework that both sides have come towards. I think there is a proposal and a counter proposal from what we gather from JD Vance, and there's not been an agreement. So now we'll have to see what the Iranians have to say about it, because the sources that we were speaking to during the day, they were of the view that the United States is asking for maximalist positions, especially when it came to the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranians are not willing to budge on that, and they say that they've been talking about multiple issues, including the nuclear program, including their influence in the region, including other issues regarding the economics of all of this, because the Iranians have been insistent about an asset unfreeze from the United States as well. So it appears that there has been some movement, because if they were to break down completely, that would have happened much earlier. So going in, you heard from Bagher Kalibaf saying that this is only going to be successful if there is an asset unfreeze and the issue of the Lebanese ceasefire. That has not transpired. We believe from our sources that there is some indication of an agreement with Israel that it is not going to bomb the capital Beirut, and is going to continue its operations in the south. But again, this is all drip information that we were getting from some sources. So we'll have to wait and see on the Iranian version of events. And then obviously the interlocutors who were the Pakistanis, diplomats that I've been speaking to tell me that there's been tremendous effort that has been put into just bringing these sides to the table. A historic day where they, for the first time since the 1979 revolution in Iran, were able to bring such high-level people face to face with each other.
Osama, what should we read into the fact that no mention was made of whether there will be any more talks, when there might be more talks? Do we take that as a positive sign or a negative sign?
Well, it will all depend on the other side, because right now we've heard from the Americans, and JD Vance is leaving by saying this is their best and final offer. So there is an offer on the table. I think that we can take away from it. Now, he's saying that they were not able to make progress because it appears that they have not moved from that offer that they made. So whether this was an offer that they came with to begin with, whether this was an offer that transpired during those multiple rounds of negotiations, where there was a give and take from the sources that we were talking to in the government, they were telling us that there is their push is that unless there is a compromise, unless both sides are willing to give and take.
And what exactly is the U.S. giving in this conversation? Genuinely. Because the U.S. is not going to pay for reparations. The U.S. is not going to apologize. The U.S. is not going to rebuild the schools that they broke down. What the fuck is the U.S. providing in these negotiations? Go ahead. Give us nothing, colonizers. They're going to give us unreasonable demands. Oh, so true. What do you think the Gulf Oinkies will do after Trump announcing he will close the Gay of Hormuz? Nothing, because they know that it's all just like posturing.
These things cannot move forward. And there was no expectation of a major breakthrough here today because of, you remember how long it took for the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal, where experts and politicians and nuclear scientists poured over every single line. So it appears that, you know, the diplomacy is not dead. But as in the words of the U.S. Vice President, it is unfortunate that they are leaving without a deal.
Okay, Osama, we'll leave it there. Osama bin Javed there for us in Islamabad. I just want to recap for anyone who might be joining us right now what we heard there from the U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, who, after those marathon talks in Pakistan to bring together a deal between Iran and the U.S., announced that there was no result in an.
If you guys don't mind a little bit of self-harm, can I please see the Fox News coverage on Trump closing the Strait of Hormuz?
Iran promised to open the Strait of Hormuz and they knowingly failed to do so. The president.
No. The the axis of Epstein failed on their side of the ceasefire, so there is no ceasefire, so there is no Strait of Hormuz opening. Maybe if Israel could just stop for 2 seconds, for just 2 fucking seconds, if they could just stop killing civilians in Lebanon, maybe just for like 2 fucking seconds, the Strait of Hormuz would be open. Maybe the United States, I don't know, should leverage any of their financial power over Israel at all, ever, and get them to stop murdering innocent people in Lebanon. Maybe. Wasn't the Strait open like 6 weeks ago? What happened? Maybe change these subtitles.
President writes, this caused anxiety, dislocation, and pain to many people and countries throughout the world. They say they put mines in the water, even though all of their Navy and most of their mine droppers have been completely blown up. So there you have it. The meeting went well. Most points were agreed to, but the only point that really mattered, nuclear, was not. Effective immediately, the president states, the United States Navy, the finest in the world, will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz. At some point, we will reach an all being allowed to go in, all being allowed to go out basis, but Iran has not allowed that to happen by merely saying there may be a mine out there somewhere that nobody knows about but them. This is world extortion, and leaders of countries, especially the United States of America, will never be extorted. I have also instructed our Navy to seek and interdict every vessel in international waters that has paid a toll to Iran. No one who pays an illegal toll will have safe passage on the high seas. We will also begin destroying the mines the Iranians laid in the straits. Any Iranian who fires at us or at peaceful vessels will be blown to hell. The president writes, Iran knows better than anyone how to end this situation, which has already devastated their country. Their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their anti-aircraft and radar are useless. Khomeini and most of their leaders are dead, all because of their nuclear ambition. The blockade will begin.
I have to say, my favorite thing about pretending like the leaders are dead is just ignoring the fact that we killed the old Khomeini, and then it was the person who took on the role was his son, who was more extremist than he was. It's just, as Trump considered more tariffs, I hear it's the best economic weapon ever. I guess I didn't think about that. I guess I just didn't consider that at all.
Shortly, other countries will be involved with this blockade. Iran will not be allowed to profit off this illegal act of extortion. They want money, and more importantly, they want nuclear. Additionally, and at an appropriate moment, we are fully locked and loaded, and our military will finish up the little that is left of Iran. President Donald J. Trump.
Truly an extraordinary move by the president that follows on a lot of extraordinary moves by the president, recognizing that these are international waterways, and for 47 years, you've had the mullahs of Iran holding the Strait of Hormuz hostage, holding the entire world hostage because of a weird little crook in the Strait of Hormuz that dives deep into Iranian territory that allows them to control 20%.
You mean economic leverage? You mean the thing that the United States always boasts about having?
Of the world's oil and gas supply. And President Trump has called their bluff. He has basically captured the hostage and says, no more. You're not going to do it. And I predict that other countries that rely on that oil and gas more than the United States does, are going to come around and realize that this is probably the only way forward.
So Iran felt like they had the upper hand, that they had leverage.
They still have leverage.
By trying to take this strait. And
take the states, theirs. This would be like saying the United States is trying to take leverage by not selling our excess crude oil. What's something America produces a lot of? I know America doesn't really produce and manufacture a lot. Largest export United States. I'm saying hogs. I just looked up hogs. Fuck you guys. Biggest category, export category, mineral fuels and mineral oils, which include crude oil. Okay, so it actually is one of the, wait. Top 10. This is from 2017. I mean, that's fine, I guess. 2017. I'm just looking for something semi-recently. I guess it'd be cool if I could find something even more recent than that, but what's the source on this? Mm. Okay. So, I didn't realize how much. I didn't realize it was so much more than anything else. I was just, taking a guess. This would be like saying the United States is unfairly using its leverage as a world power in exporting oil, and therefore this is unlawful and wrong for them to do that. What?
They had the upper hand, that they had leverage by trying to take this straight. And
how could the U.S. take their own oil and refuse to sell it? What? It's wrong of the United States to take over the Mississippi River, the thing that is already a U.S. territory? What the fuck are we? What are we talking about? I just want to know what we're talking about. What the fuck are we talking about? Baby brain fox shit like normal. They had the upper hand after we gave it to them, and they did something we never thought they would do, aka the thing that they said they were going to do immediately.
In a,
as they always have,
1,394 square mile center of that strait, where hundreds of tankers are passing every day, they have allegedly mined it. Reports are that they don't even know where the mines are. They put it there, thus redirecting any traffic that went through to come through Iranian waters, to which they made them pay a toll. Those are the ships the president's going to go after. But this decision to begin effective immediately blockading ships going in and out is a indication that Iran never had the leverage that they thought they had. As we send in 2 destroyers into the strait to begin the mine clearing conditions, and now blockading it to render Iran's leverage really useless, that they can't affect it. Now, this goes back, by the way, to have full context of it.
The thing is, even if the U.S. is blockading the few ships that are passing, this doesn't remove Iran's capabilities to continue blocking the strait for everybody else that wasn't passing. It weakens their leverage a little, but not. It's like delusional to assume that this is anything more than just a little bit of leverage lost.
Because the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea says that no bordering country to any strait, let alone Hormuz, can control it, let alone charge any sort of toll. And so the president's decision here is not only a reaction as a last resort to the fact that Iran won't play by the international law of the sea, but also you just had on April 7th, the United Nations held a resolution to basically open it up and tell Iran they could not do what they were doing, and it was vetoed by Russia and China. And so ultimately, this isn't just about Iran anymore. This is now also about China, who receives 80% or more of these oil tankers.
There's something so rich about the United States talking about the law. When has the U.S. ever given a shit about international law? Genuinely.
Going to them. 90% go to Asian countries.
The most amazing thing about talking about international law is that the United States, every time that there's any vote, I got the meme. Let me pull it up. Where is it? Anytime there's literally any vote on any resolution, it always looks exactly like this. Should breathing be a human right? UN vote. And it's every single country but 2 saying yes. And guess which 2 are saying no? It would be funny if it wasn't so accurate. It'd be like, should slavery be legal? Every single country says no. The 2 countries saying yes. Everyone agrees that this thing that is bad is bad? Well, the axis of Epstein disagree.
Countries, and it is backfiring as shipping of energy starts heading east.
And this also
towards the U.S.
This forces countries like China to suddenly wake up and recognize that, wait a minute, we have to participate in this and clear the strait.
Do you remember after the successful mission rescuing the second airman, the downed Wizzo, Director Ratcliffe came out and spoke along with General Kane and Secretary of War Hegseth. And the director said, you know, we have the best military in the world. We have the best agency. We have the best intelligence, bar none on the battlefield, better described than I'm paraphrasing right now. But he said, but none of that matters. And all of that flies out the window without a commander-in-chief who has the political courage to put it into effect. And I know that's a different specific scenario than this, but I am reminded of that statement that all of our capabilities are rendered impotent and useless without a commander-in-chief and a president with the political and the geopolitical and the diplomatic vision to truly put American interests first. This issue with Iran has been a thorn in the side of America and the free world for almost 50 years. And we have seen what used to be one of our strongest allies become our definitively strongest enemy, in addition to China, over the last 50 years. And every commander-in-chief kicked the can down the road. And finally, we have...
Yep. Famously, that's exactly what happened. Every single president kicked the can down the road if you just ignore the nuclear agreement that Obama had with Iran. If you just ignore that, then every single president, like, Obama, basically, you could just make it as he is the drone strike king, bro. I'm sorry, man. That guy was probably every single innocent brown child that got killed in the Middle East was probably like one. How do I say this in a way that isn't crude? I've been watching too much Kyle Kulinski. Orgasm for him, bro. He was getting off on knowing that there were random children and civilians that were brown that were dying in the Middle East.
The marbles are gone, people.
That deserved a marbles are gone. I'm sorry. I'm watching too much Kulinski. The silence was loud. I'm sorry. You got me, dude. You fucking got me. The marbles are gone. I'm sorry. Dark Woke Commander had an effect on me. My bad. My bad. Cool Chatter, thank you so much. Cool Chatter 42069. Thank you so much for the 50 gift subs. Thank you. Let's fucking go. 50 gift subs, America. Sorry. Been chilling this whole time. He's so behaved. Look at it. I want to bother him too much. Thank you. Lou Sosos, thank you so much for the tier 1. Light of Dawn, thank you for the 8 months, by the way. Endless Mike, thank you for the 3 months. Zephyr, thank you for the 9. Macman, thank you for the 2 months. Thanks. I would like to say also, if you like the stream and you're watching the broadcast and you like me shitting on random people like Obama, well, I guess not so random. Random people and also not so random people like presidents, feel free to throw Prime my way. If it's just sitting there collecting dust, or a tier 1 or a tier 2 or a tier 3 sub, I would really appreciate it. It helps support the broadcast. This is the Denims broadcasting service that is made by viewers like you, supported by viewers like you, for viewers like you. And I only get to do it, so it really does mean a lot. RE2 today. Perhaps. You know what? We can set up the goal. Why not? There's no harm in setting it up. Sure. We can set up the goal. Tomorrow's news today. Yeah, I'm actually reading into the future, and I can tell you guys what's going to happen tomorrow. After all, why shouldn't I? What was I trying to say? Trump moving to hold the straight. How long until the article comes out that he funneled every penny to his accounts? At this point, if you think Trump isn't doing things always actively to profit, personally to profit, you might be an idiot. You might actually be an idiot. Isn't it crazy, guys, that like maggots are allowed to vote? Like their vote is worth as much as yours. These people who literally Trump could like fuck their wives, kill their children, like burn their homes down, and they're like, well, I'm sure he had a good reason for doing that. I trust Trump. I trust him. And I know he's doing what's right. For maybe my children were Hamas. Maybe there were tunnels under my house. So it was good that he did that. It was good that he did that.
The mullet rolls are gone, people.
Like, MAGA votes might be worth even more because they can be counted as two. Wait, why? But the Dow. Oh, dude. I don't understand why he even wants more money. He can already buy anything. Well, he wants attention and power and fame. You have to think about it the same way that you think about like someone like Asmongold, who spends none of his money on anything ever, lives like a fucking peasant, like a fucking, not even like a, no, I'm sorry, excuse me. Peasants lived better than he does. Lives like a Resident Evil creature. He has no need for money. He just needs attention and love from people on the internet. That's it. And it would be one thing to use the attention to make money so that you can retire. Because I think that's how a lot of creators and a lot of people on the internet use it. It's like everyone on the internet is looking for some level of attention for their bank account. But it's another thing to do it because you just desperately need the attention. You don't even want to do it for money. You don't even want to do it to make the world a better place. You just want to do it because you're a freak. You're a freak. RE7 family is crazy. I mean, I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying. ContraMan, thank you for the 22 gift subs, by the way. Oh my god, also, sorry, I gotta say, Treasure Train just dropped. I swear to God, I feel like we haven't seen a Treasure Train in actually like a billion years. Kind of actually a little bit rare. They were kind of like throwing them all out all the time, and they just threw one my way after like, I feel like forever not getting one. I feel inclined to say, especially because we roll up on the screen.
I don't like denims, like, at all, because her camera is so fucking big, and it bothers me.
Love that. I love that alert. It's a little too long, but I do love that alert. Polestar, thank you for the 5 gift subs. House of Rice, thank you for the 10 gift subs. For anyone who doesn't know, Treasure Train means that gift subs are 5 or more gift subs are 35% off. So if you would like to support the stream, and you've been watching for a while and you enjoy the broadcast and you watch it more than you watch Netflix or Hulu or Mubi or Tubi, Bebo, whatever streaming broadcasting service you subscribe to that doesn't provide you nearly as much entertainment, Bumbo, Glip Glop, you know the one. This is a great opportunity to support a stream that only gets to exist because of your support. So if you'd like to throw some tier 1s or tier 2s or tier 3s, or if you'd like to take advantage and abuse the Treasure Train right now, gifting 5 or more subs is 35% off, and it comes with the added bonus that if we get to 250 subs, I will start Resident Evil 2 again. Because the last time I played it was years ago, and I could not. I was so scared. I was scared like a little bitch. But I feel like after Resident Evil 9, I'm powerful. I feel like I can do it.
Denims is streaming.
I feel like I can do it. All right. Oh my god. Wait, what the fuck? Sick. Thank you for the 50 gift subs. What the? Ayo? Gam, thank you so much for the 12 months.
The mullet rolls
thank you so much
gone,
for the 10.
People.
Ben Cognito, thank you for the 10. Rat, thank you so much for the 8 months. Worst Bird, thank you for the 10. Liz, thank you so much for the 5. Biba, thank you so much for the 10. Behind, thank you for the 25. Holster, thank you for the 5.
Because her camera is so
oh yes, we're so close. Oh, we're so close. Oh, we're so close. Wash Bear, thank you for the 5. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Denims
Stop
is
trying to remove me
streaming.
from the peasant class. No, you will be pantsed. You will be. We will pants you. It's kind of like that the SpongeBob movie where everyone gets the chum buckets on their heads. That's me, but instead of like
I don't like denims, like at all, because I heard camera is so fucking big and it bothers me.
exactly, so true. But instead of me putting a chum bucket hat on you, I'm putting pants on you, and then you're like, all hail denims, all hail. John Hugs, thank you for the 5. A magical fish, thank you for the gifted tier 1. Koi, thank you for the 5. Thank you. Gandalf, thank you for the 5.
I don't like denims. Like,
Thank you guys.
at
We
all,
were 6 gifts.
because,
We were
I
6
heard
subs
camera is
away.
so fucking
Contraman,
big
thank you
and
for
it
the
bothers
10.
me.
Let's go. Yeah, dodge. Easy Dodgers. Easy Dodgers in chat. Any Dodgers? Yep. RE2's happening. That's right.
The mullet rolls are gone, people.
No, I would say the marbles are fucking here, people. Cute Karma, thank you for the 5. What the? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Nobody can pants on me, Jack. Yeah, that's what you think. 3 months on Twitch, but forever subbed in my heart. Oh, thanks, Crash. Thank you so much for the prompt. I really appreciate it.
I don't like denims, like at all, because
Also, the
I
one
heard
benefit
camera
of
is so
subbing here
fucking
and
big
priming
and
here,
it bothers me.
the one benefit you get here that you get nowhere else, basically nowhere else, every bit of your support helps me build up my lawsuit case, or the case in my lawsuit, that we will be winning. I've been wanting to talk more about it, but there's just been not that many updates.
Denims is streaming.
But hopefully soon there will be more updates. So I'm very excited. What lawsuit? The copyright lawsuit. And I'm very Chris K just put out a video on Ethan Klein's
Denims
lawsuits.
is
Yeah, I saw
streaming.
the lawsuit against Noah. It's just like, yes, King, give us nothing. Yes, for sure. People definitely see this as you being a beacon for whom exactly? Who exactly? Okay. It's giving America.
Denims is streaming.
Oh my god, dude. I think the how do I explain this? The best thing I can just, or the best way to put it is, it's kind of sad
Denims is streaming.
that previous Ethan Klein would hate the version of Ethan Klein that exists today. Any flan updates? Oh, big flan updates. Big, 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 big. Big. But it's just literally he struggles to win in like the public arena. So he's doing the only thing he knows how to do, or the only other thing that he can do, which is use lawsuits. Yes, Mayor Worm. All right. Kaplan, thank you for the 35. Cute Carmen, thank you for the gifts. Minus, thank you for the 3 months. Anti-Corporatist, thank you for the 5. Talented Sleeper, thank you for the prime. Permanently Brandonized, thank you for the 5. Rock Intensity, thank you for the 10. MX, thank you for the 34 months. Thank you, guys. Sasquatch, thank you for the tier 1. Thank you. To be honest, I think it's the same person. He was an asshole, but just like punching down now, or punching up, but now he punches downs. Yeah. It's just mediocre. All right. Iran embassy in Thailand. The new move from Trump against our country is so comical that we don't even have a meme for it. Ernest, thank you for the 10. Thank you. Simon, I don't know if I said that. I think I said thank you, but thank you again for the 5. Oh my fuck, dude. What a joke of a country, dude. Let me see this clip.
Today, the United States held peace negotiations with Iran, but then just an hour ago, President Trump posted, if Iran doesn't agree to peace, the greatest military of all time, ours, will F Iran right up their Strait of Hormuz. Assalamu alaikum, you crazy bastards.
By the way, I haven't seen, I basically have seen, I've seen so little coverage and so few people talking. It really does feel like there is so much, I don't know how to call it censorship, because it's not exactly censorship. And it's not quite manufactured consent. But like the stories that get spoken about or the stories that get talked about on mainstream media are so...
I don't like Denims, like at all, because her camera is so fucking big and it bothers me.
They're so selective. Not a real quote. Play the rest of the video. No, I know what the real quote is. I'm gonna play the rest of the video. Don't worry, buddy. Don't worry. Calm down. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna watch the rest of it. Bro is zooted. Username PillPapa420. He's like, bro, I'm high now. I need you to press the play button right now. I don't know. Dude, just dude, just calm down. I get it. Sunday. Do what you want. Live your life. You're not working. But one moment. I'm getting to the point that I want to make. It is crazy that CNN's coverage of the original tweet, they just didn't say the praise be to Allah part. They didn't say it. And then I think it was either Fox News or CBS or CNBC. I don't remember which one. They put the beginning of the quote and then they put ... right before praise be to Allah. So it was like, open the fucking strait. You crazy bastards, ... It was like, what's so scary about saying it, especially because the reason he's saying it is like to mock Muslim people and to say, oh, not even your God, not even your Allah can save you here. Like the goal was to humiliate the Muslim people in the country. So it's not even like he was praising, but like they knew that it's like they know that their audiences are too stupid to understand that. So they don't even bother saying it because they think it's like it's too big and scary of an idea. I saw Jake Fapper skip it. Jake Fapper skipped it. I saw Fox News skipped it. And I don't remember if it was, again, CBS or MSNBC, but one of the other ones also skipped it. They put like a ... on it. Allah just means God in Arabic. I mean, I know. It's just funny that like these people don't even respect their own fucking audiences enough to just show the full fucking quote. Because God forbid anyone misconstrues it as Trump praising Allah and it hurts the poor widowed chud brain. It's so crazy. Is that a real quote? No, but the real quote is like very close to this. The real quote is like, open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or there will be hell.
Because
praise be to Allah.
Is so fucking big and it bothers me.
Ernest, thank you so much for the 10. Thank you.
Now, I completely made that up. But isn't it kind of disturbing that you all totally believe that he had posted that? President Trump did genuinely issue a post threatening to destroy Iran's entire civilization and then ended with the phrase, praise be to Allah. And I know that almost makes Trump sound like he is a radical terrorist, but remember, Trump has already been to a paradise with 72 virgins.
There is growing confusion over whether Israel being allowed to continue bombing.
Wait, the writers at SNL are finally cooking? Wait. Listen, this is dark humor. This is actually dark humor.
Lebanon was part of the ceasefire with Iran. Ultimately, that decision comes down to the man controlling our military, Benjamin Netanyahu. Earlier tonight, J.D. Vance announced that the U.S. and Iran have ended negotiations without a deal after talking for 21 hours straight. And guys, I think they're done for real based on how his mascara's running.
Wouldn't be SNL without at least one kind of cringy joke.
Before the talks fell apart, President Trump warned Iran about making any more demands, saying the Iranians don't seem to realize.
Listen, as a cringe lord, as a cringe poster, as a cringe aficionado, I will allow a few cringe jokes.
They have no cards.
Okay, no, that was funny. It was also cringe. Things can be cringe and funny. I will bravely, boldly say.
They're literally holding us straight. JD Vance was asked about Iran's right to enrich uranium, and he made kind of a weird analogy. Watch.
My wife has the right to skydive, but she doesn't jump out of an airplane because she and I have an agreement that she's not going to do that because I don't want my wife jumping out of an airplane.
Huh?
What the hell are you talking about? The only thing that makes sense in that entire analogy is that we can all understand JD Vance's wife having the urge to jump.
SNL actually being funny? Wait, what the fuck? Is this legal? Dude, wait a minute. They actually made comedy legal. What the? You got to check out UK SNL. Are you sure? SNL being funny, recession indicator. SNL funny, Ezra Klein not attacking Hasan. What is going on with reality? Dude, some crazy shit's about to happen. Dude, wait. Did someone world jump us? World jump line? I don't remember what it's called. Did someone jump us to the good timeline? God willing. Yeah, mashallah. Dude, wait a minute. Did we switch servers? UK SNL?
Airstrike destroyed Iran's largest bridge. Responding to criticism for targeting civilian infrastructure, a senior US military official said, "Oh my God, we're so sorry. We thought it was a school."
It's Easter!
You can't. No. Dude. But that's too real. Wait, but that's too... Okay, so... I'm hanging out with my friends, chat. I need you guys to know something really quickly. I'm hanging out with my buddies, my internet buddies. And since I'm playing all of these older games, like going back, playing RE5, went back and played some other really old games, I was like, I'm getting my friends to play these games. They were like, you should play... Did you ever play, like, the original, like, Call of Duty Modern Warfare? And I was like, no. I don't play games that are only have, like, 2 colors in the color scheme, which is, like, brown and gray. And I like games that have a little bit more character development in them. And they were like, no, you should try it. And I was like, are you sure? And they were like, you should try it. I was like, you sure? And they were like, no, you should try it. I was like, okay. And I've been playing it. And it's so amazing how impossible it is to play it as an adult that is politically aware and not see. Like, I don't even know the number. I would have to look it up. There's no way that game was not funded by the CIA. Or at least the military. There's no way that game did not receive massive funding. Oh my God. It was 100%. It had to be. It had to be. Besides the fact that they obviously needed to probably get a lot of this information by having like military advisors or whatever. But oh my God. So I've never played, I think I like played, what's the game on like BattleNet? The PvP game. I've played that one. But I think that might be the only COD game I've played actually. No, not StarCraft. Maybe with Warzone. I don't even know if Warzone is considered COD actually. So I don't even know. But that's the closest I've gotten to like that genre. Warzone is the closest I've gotten to that genre. It's their BR. Yeah, they're the battle royale that they have. And I've never played any of the other ones because, again, they've just never called out to me. And I was totally right because if I played any of those games as a teenager, I would have thought that they were boring as hell. But there is something comical. Sorry to spoil a game that's been out for like years. I just finally got to the part where like the nukes are used. And it's so comical. It's like, first of all, besides the fact that all of like the Arab people are just like nameless Arab people. And whenever like they zoom into the location, it's just the Middle East. It's just like, and here we return our conflict in the Middle East. It's like, yes, because every place in the Middle East looks exactly the same. Famously, no places in the Middle East have ever looked different from other places in the Middle East. It's really funny because when you switch over to like soap or whatever, they like list the cities or whatever. They list like the Russian cities, but when it comes to the Middle East, it's just like the Middle East. It's like, okay. All right. Bizarre, but sure, why not? Middle East, nondescript desert location that looks a lot like Arizona. It's just like literally every map looks like dust. It's just if you made dust bigger. Like, okay. Whatever, man. Whatever, man. But the mic drop moment in that game is like, the Arabs are so fucking crazy. They just nuked their own people. It's like, I guess no wonder why Americans, especially ones that were like actually brainwashed by these games, not people who played them and thought like, that was kind of fun. The people who played them were like, wow, I should enlist. Those people, which is not admittedly probably very many, but it's got to be at least one. It's got to be greater than one, right? No wonder so many Americans have such a skewed idea of like Arab people and Muslim people. It's just like your understanding is literally just the Middle East is all exactly the same. Everyone in these countries are all of these people exactly the same. And they're crazy enough they'd build nukes and just start bombing anyone anywhere. It's like the only thing the games are missing is like people riding camels in the background. It's so amazing. It's just incredible. It's so incredible. Oh, I'm having a blast. I'm having an absolute blast, dude, playing these games, dude. Oh my God. The skewed opinion, to be fair, was fed to us 24/7 by everything, news, TV shows, video games, etc. all the time. Yeah. I mean, there was like one video, I don't know how many of you guys saw it, that was like, it was trending on Twitter and it was like a coffee shop in Iran. And I think the caption was something like, this would break Americans' brains. Let me see if I can coffee shop Tehran. But it's because I think the average racist American. Yes, I'm so happy. I clicked 2 different links from 2 different chatters. One leading me to YouTube and another one leading me to TikTok. And it was both for the same video. Oh my God. Movie shows Arab country, Hollywood. And some of the additions are like random ass shot of a camel eating, wobbly air to show how on screen to show how hot it is.
Welcome, my friend. Welcome, my friend.
God damn, it's hot. I'm sweating like R. Kelly in Disneyland.
The one-dimensional black character only there to give funny one-liners. It's just so true. It's literally everything about this is just Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Call of Duty co-founder claims Activision put very awkward pressure on Infinity Ward to make a game about Iran invading Israel. March 5th, 2026 is when the article was written. Hans Glasgow, one of the co-founders of Infinity Ward and creator of Call of Duty franchise, claimed that Activision once pressured the studio to include an invasion of Israel by Iran. So really quickly, can I just pull up that one GIF where it's like the guy in Ratatouille reading? Ratatouille reading GIF. This is how I feel reading this. The creators of Call of Duty franchise claimed Activision once pressured the studio to include an invasion of Israel by Iran. This came after Call of Duty gameplay footage was used in a video released by the White House X account showing a character calling in a kill streak before a montage of real-world military bombing footage. Explosions shown in the video are presented alongside plus 100 point indicators, echoing kills using kill streaks in Call of Duty games. In response to this video, Glasgow wrote on his personal social media account, "This doesn't surprise me. I remember after Activision took over post-Respawn Formation, there was very awkward pressure from Activision for us to make the next COD game about Iran attacking Israel. Luckily, the vast majority of our devs were disgusted by the idea, and it got shot down." Wait, like... First... Wait, common dev W? Question mark? Click wait. Base dev alert? Activision pressured them. I wonder who pressured Activision. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He would further elaborate on this in a response. Wait, this is pretty funny. To social media reactions to the same White House video. In one tweet, Glasgow claims, "A lot of us devs were appalled because it felt like political propaganda being pushed by Activision. For sure. And none of the other COD games were." When asked why depiction of an Iranian... Dude, what is wrong with this cat? Like sleeping, but he keeps like... He's like having a dream or something, I guess, where he's... Like he knows when I start recording him and then he stops doing whatever he's doing at that moment. I'm just going to keep the phone here recording him for when he does it. But I'm going to keep reading the article. When asked why depictions of an Iranian invasion of Israel felt like political propaganda while fictional military depictions in other countries like the UK and Mexico were okay, Glasgow elaborated on his stance saying, "My point is that the government would happily use entertainment like video games as a way to sway public opinion on major issues. There have been decades of pressure for a war with Iran across multiple administrations. The scenario you mentioned, not so much." Glasgow claims that during his tenure at Infinity Ward, no locations were chosen for political reason. "My entire time at Infinity Ward through COD Ghost, none of our story choices were motivated by the decision to create any type of propaganda to promote any conflict." Bruh. Well, maybe he said my time. How long has this guy been there? Maybe he wasn't there for some of the games. Kind of doubt a little bit, but I don't know. That's amazing, dude. Activision critically damaged the Mech Warrior franchise from FASA on Windows 98 and then moved on to kill Blizzard. Activision kills every game I love. I hate them so much. Dude, me with EA. Wait, did Activision? The same company? I don't think so. They didn't merge, right? Activision is a different company. It's so hard because I feel like every time I've looked at this stuff, it's like much like every other industry, all of these companies just merge with each other eventually or just buy each other out. It's Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard. Okay, so EA is its own distinct studio then, still. For now. Yeah, this is me with EA. I will never forgive EA for all of the games that they destroyed, especially Dragon Age. I literally will never forgive them for what they did to Dragon Age and what they did to Mass Effect. I can't believe what they did to... finding out that like Dragon Age 5 was supposed to be Dragon Age 4 was supposed to be this amazing piece in oh, I'm forgetting the territory because it like they destroyed it so bad it like crushed my heart. I had to immediately pretend like none of that happened. But it was supposed to be a plotline following Solus in Tevinter. And they had like half the game made. Like half of the foundation was made. And then EA Suits told them, yeah, we don't like the direction of this because there aren't enough microtransactions. Scrap it all. You're doing Veilguard. And they were like, okay, but we think fans would like this one. Yeah, we don't care. Okay. So no Tevinter then? Okay. Like I literally will never forgive EA. I will never forgive EA. You think Marvel Rivals pushes war propaganda? No, I think Marvel Rivals actually is trying to make a good game that's trying to push people to buy more Marvel products, to be honest with you. It's so funny, too, because I do think that there is such a thing as, like, having a game that feels vaguely political but isn't political. So, like, I used to think CSGO was very political, and then I played it, and I was like, no, not really. The people who play it are just like, you're not, it doesn't really, first of all, you play as the terrorists, and there are a lot of, like, T-sided maps. So it's not really, like, it doesn't feel political, if that makes sense. I mean, everything is political to some extent, but that's pretty far off from, like, explicit propaganda, right? You're just playing a game, and honestly, the most political thing that's going to happen is the moment you speak, so everyone else in the lobby is going to call you a slur. It isn't pushing an explicit agenda, precisely. Exactly. Like, yeah, the CT side is supposed to be the good guys, obviously, because they're counter-terrorists, but no one, I don't think, really plays that game and is thinking, like, oh yeah, for sure. And also like the gameplay isn't necessarily making the AK is the best gun in the game, or some people would argue. I feel like that the AK is like the best gun in the game, outside of like I don't know the op or whatever. Yeah, it just is. So you play as both sides. Some of the maps are T-sided, some of the maps are CT-sided. I don't think I've ran into anyone who played that and was like, this game made me like or dislike terrorists more. You know what I mean? CT's in the IDF, is the IDF in the games in some maps. Like I said, I don't think that people who play the game are actively absorbing that propaganda or whatever. I don't think anyone cares. I think people are like buying the skins and whatever. You guys get the point that I'm making. Playing the COD game that I'm playing, you control an AC-130. You like control all of this military equipment. They show you what it does. They show you how much it costs in the real world. Like it absolutely is made to make you think that the military is like, the American military is so epic. It's so epic style. You would love to do this in the real world, wouldn't you? Yes, you would love this. It would be so swag. You don't get that vibe, or me personally, I don't get that vibe when I'm playing CS. As someone who likes playing CS, who only started picking it up recently, I don't feel that way when I play. It's like, there isn't really a narrative. There's no story there. And the guns don't, like, the gunplay doesn't feel like it's made to make you love guns in real life. You know what I mean? It just feels like, oh, okay, this gun does this one does that, whatever. But the COD games, oh my, or at least the one I'm playing. Oh my God. It really is like, wouldn't it be so cool if you could control a tank in the real world? Oh my God. What if you were like a Marine and you did this in real life? Whoa. What if you did that in the real world? What if you were a pilot in the real world? Whoa. And it was cool and epic. It's like, I'm feeling the propaganda. Gulpa. I feel very propagandized too. People thinking CS is political is woke 1.0. Well, I think it's political the way that like everything is a little bit political, the way that like Overwatch is political or like Rivals is political or whatever. I don't think it's like explicitly outwardly trying or effectively making people more political or like propagandized or whatever. If that makes sense. And you can kind of get that vibe even when you talk to people, well, not in the lobbies, but if you talk to people not in lobbies who play CS, it's just like a shooter. It's just a fun, high skill shooter. And again, I think the fact that you play as the terrorist and the fact that like the terrorists have probably the best gun in the game, it doesn't exactly lend itself to feeling like those are like mindless enemies, especially because it's a PvP game. Whereas in COD, it's like literally all of the evil terrorists are random ass AIs and you don't feel bad about killing all of them. And you shouldn't feel bad about killing any of or all of them. So it's like, oh. You see that the DOT is trying to recruit gamers to be air traffic controllers? Dude, I saw that. I saw the Cloak and Dagger post. Wait, I want to see. Maybe I liked it. There was this one post that was like, this sounds like good on paper, but the reality is I don't want my Cloak and Dagger that can't fade a Strangel in Grandmaster as an air traffic controller or something like that. Let's see if I can find it. Maybe I can find it. It was pretty funny. It was a pretty funny post, chat. No, I can't find it. Well, if someone has seen it. If someone's seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Moving on from all of this stuff, that's enough on this. Let's get back to the SNL thing. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Gamer to gamer. I was having a great time playing this game and being like, wow, no wonder Americans are so propagandized. Holy shit. Because when you talk to Americans that talk about this war, they're like, Iran is going to use the fucking nukes on us if we don't do something. It's like, where are you getting this idea from? This is the post. Thank you. FAA is now targeting gamers to help fill air traffic controller jobs. Officials say they're a natural fit due to their quick decision-making, focus, and ability to handle pressure. I won't be flying anymore if the Grandmaster Cloak and Dagger one trick is the air traffic controller at my airport. How are you going to direct planes when you can't even fade a strange ult? Sorry, for non-gamers, there's a button you can press that is, people call your Q because it's the Q button, and it's your ultimate, and it's usually really strong in video games. And Doctor Strange presses Q, and then everyone is CC'd, and then you kill them all, and it's really easy to kill them. And there's counterplay, where a different person can usually press a different button on their keyboard that makes the other person's button do nothing. One such button on the character Cloak and Dagger is called, it's the, what is it? Is it their E? I think it's the E. Maybe it's the shift. I don't remember. I don't play that character. You can fade, basically making your team immune to the ultimate, the really strong press Q and win button. And people don't do it. People don't do it. They're like, well, you want me to do something? I'm just going to sit here and die. Okay, best I can do is shift into Dagger and hold down, was it left click? Hold down left click. Best I can do. Best I can do is hold down left click on Strange and then die. Best I can do. Best you can do. Best you can do. Bruh. Damn, what rank? Like, people do this in like fucking the at least for the highest rank that I've been in, which is Celestial, people still do this. But anyways. Thank you for explaining. I got you, bro. I got you. I'm hearing DPS slandering support. No, this is me as someone who plays Penny, who CCs every Strange. Every time I have CC'd a Strange pressing Q, trying to kill my team, I nut a little bit, all right? Every time I Penny web him and I'd be tracking their ass, I'd be like, I'm not even playing the game anymore. I'm just like, I know you're going to press Q. I know you're going to do it. Come on. Come on. Say the Eye of Agamotto. Come on. Come on. And they always do the same little move. They go in the air and then as soon as they're going to start going down, they press him like, oh, he's going to do it. He's going to do oh. And then they're like, the eye. And then you just hear the fucking web noise every time. Every time. Oh, it's so nice. It feels so good to cuck them. And you know they're so mad. You know they're so mad every time. It's basically the only way to explain it is like, imagine being a goalie, but you're the best goalie in the world and no one ever gets to score when you're a goalie. Tell me the goalie doesn't nut a little. Tell me the goalie doesn't, I don't know, I haven't played soccer, so I don't know, but tell me the goalie wouldn't nut a little if they had a game, if their record was perfect, right? Or very close to perfect. What the fuck is a goalie? I don't know, some shit people call football, some whatever. And it feels so good. And it feels so good. And then I found out that Cloak and Dagger can do that better than Penny can do it, because when Penny does it, they still keep half their ult charge. And it's like a skill shot. You have to land it. And Cloak and Dagger can just press one button and then you're good, and they don't do it. I'm like, you serial right now? Are you serious? This whole time I've been doing this shit and my Cloak and Daggers, what are they doing? Jerking each other off? What the fuck? Huh? Because Penny gets that shit for free every 2 seconds. You just have to land it. And you have to keep track of where they are. You know what I mean? Because they're usually trying to get like an off angle. So you don't get to put any mines down. You don't get to do anything else. And you have to hold it until they use it. And I've had some strangers where I'm like, I know you have it. It's been a minute. I'm not doing anything else except looking at you. I'm only looking at the string. I know you have it. Just press Q already. So I can play the game the way I want to play the game. God fucking damn it. Anyways. Penny also doesn't have to swap forms either. Yeah, but like you should be able to keep good mental track. Also, you have so much time. Kidding me? Also, let's be real. Cloak and Dagger is like almost always in cloak form, brother. Like in Overwatch, when Reinhardt's always do the little hop right before they hammer down. Yeah. Are you the type to get mad at your team in Overcooked? No, I control myself. I'm like, it's a hard level. You know, I actually don't mind. My hands are like bleeding as my nails are digging into my palm. I actually don't mind that we only got 1 star on that level. Yeah, no, we can go to the next one. Yeah. No, for sure. And then when I'm playing with other degenerates, I'm like, get your fucking shit together. Are you fucking serious? How did you let the spaghetti fly? Are you an idiot? The order's in the wrong order. What the fuck is wrong with you? Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm trying to win here. Can I get some yes, chef? Yes, chef. Yes, chef. Use your fucking eyes. 3 stars. Nice job. Nice job, guys. Good shit. I'm a vibe chameleon. Yeah. Because I get it. Not everyone is a loser. You know, some people are casual. And some people want to be casual. You know, I get it. I get it. All right. Let's get back to the SNL skit.
A US airstrike destroyed Iran's largest bridge. Responding to criticism for targeting civilian infrastructure, a senior US military official said, "Oh my God, we're so sorry. We thought it was a school."
It's Easter! That's right, the time of year where we celebrate the only murdered Palestinian we're allowed to talk about.
Revealed that Meta billionaire Mark Zuckerberg.
Dude, is this legal? How is it that Americans are constantly complaining about the UK free speech laws and they're doing this shit and American media is like, did you see the new makeup on JD Vance? Wow, worse. That's a wow from me. Whoa. I don't know if you guys have seen, Trump is looking pretty orange. That was a good one. That was a good one. Let's see the material here. Let's see. Orange. Old. Caroline Levitt looks old. Mar-a-Lago face. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all we got. Oh, Small Hands. Can't forget that one.
Is building a bunker under his compound in California. And I hope he uses that bunker in exactly the same way Hitler did. A US airstrike destroyed Iran.
No, that's fake. That's AI. That's AI. There's no way. There's no way that woman just said on air. Does she know that the billionaires and the pedophiles and the billionaire pedophiles you can't speak about them that way? Is this woman aware? Is she aware that you can't say that about?
Revealed that Meta billionaire Mark Zuckerberg is building a bunker under his compound in California. And I hope he uses that bunker in exactly the same way Hitler did. A US airstrike destroyed Iran's largest bridge, responding to criticism for targeting.
Are you allowed to say, I hope Mark Zuckerberg uses the bunker the same way Hitler used it? I don't think you're allowed to say that. Why can't we have this as, dude, America sucks. No health care, no infrastructure, no trains, no schools, mass shootings, no clean water, no housing, and we can't even get comedy either. We can't even have fucking jokes, man. This shit sucks, bro. This shit sucks, bro. Bro, I'm sick of this shit, man. I'm sick of this shit. I'm tired. I'm tired of winning, bro. All right. I forgot we were watching this Fox News video. Lock the fuck in, guys.
And it's sticky. We are watching the sausage being made. This is not pleasant, but it's necessary.
And every president of both parties, both Democrats and Republicans, have recognized this problem, and nobody has wanted to go after it. And also, we find ourselves, President Trump finds himself in a situation where you have the United Nations and NATO completely feckless.
Why do they say NATO like that?
Completely incapable of recognizing the importance and the wisdom of actually going after this problem and clearing the problem once and for all. For decades, you've had countries in fights with proxies of Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, where they've played all these games. Iran has funded all of them. Nobody has funded more weaponry that has killed American soldiers and probably soldiers of other countries, with the exception of, outside of Ukraine, since World War II, than Iran.
I personally would argue that actually the U.S. was the one that was funding all of the countries that now have the weapons that are being used to kill and have been used to kill Americans. But, maybe that's just maybe we just disagree there on reality. But,
Iran is the world's greatest sponsor of terrorism around the world. And
guys, did you know if you repeat something enough, it doesn't become true, but some idiots will still believe you?
President Trump says, you know what? I'm not fighting with the proxies anymore. I'm going to cut the head off the snake.
If we could put that map up again of the Strait, because I think what's really fascinating in the president's truth, and there you see it, in the blue is that main roughly 1,400 square mile area that you would have normal shipping routes going through. Now, Iran has said that's dangerous. There's mines in there. In that hazardous area, you see it blocked with the red lines going across, forcing ships to go through the red area, which are these shipping routes that Iran is apparently charging tolls for. And the president,
and those red areas are the Iranian territorial waters.
Correct. Those are the new shipping routes that Iran has forced ships to go through, because you can't go through the normal passageway. That is the violation of the law of the sea created by the United Nations Convention. And that is why President Trump is taking this step of blockading the ships. But what's fascinating is he says in his True Social, in capital letters, this is...
Sorry, the law of the sea, the law of the sea is that you can't have enforced shipping routes in your... What? Huh? Did I enter One Piece world? What the fuck are we? Bro was talking about Poseidon. What is he talking about?
World extortion.
Yeah, bringing up international law violation. Bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays out.
And that's exactly the point that he's making. No country can take a international shipping route, take it hostage, attempt to, and redirect ships through their waterways, which is Iranian, close to shore is Iranian waterways, right? And charge a toll. And this is, I would say once this blockade begins, the end, even short-term result is going to be a abject failure on Iran's part to attempt to take this strait hostage. We had earlier this morning Tom Sauer, a retired Lieutenant Navy commander that was in Navy EOD, and he talked about the minute.
I can't believe a country would use economic power and economic leverage to get what is beneficial for their country. Thankfully, the United States has never done that with anything like, I don't know, tariffs. Thankfully.
Women that are going in on the Peterson and the Murphy, the two destroyers you saw on that map, they're now going in to start clearing the mines and start paving conditions. There you go. The USS Peterson and the Murphy have gone in. He said he was actually begging Admiral Cooper to send him because this is what they've trained for their entire life. He said the plan to do something like free a strait, like the Hormuz Strait, has been around for decades.
It has to be freed. It must be liberated. Dude, the colonizer speak is crazy, man.
Decades.
Trey joined us earlier saying two salient points, one of which was the veracity of the Iranian statement about the mines. So as you see on that map, essentially it's the threat of the mine in that the lined area that then forces the ships into the area where Iranians can then extort them, right? So how do we believe them, right? That's part of the threat. And the other point he made that was so salient was that he's saying that the peace talks are, they're unfortunately we're not successful. Unfortunately for Iran.
Right.
Because we can do this all day.
So I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our...
We can do this all day. Meanwhile, Trump, please open the strait. Please, 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 please open it, please. Meanwhile, Iran, yeah, we're good. We're good on opening it, bro. We're good. We're good. Bye, Meerkat. Left on me for like forever. Healed thanks to your cat. I got you, dog. I got you. Strait closed for 6 weeks. Solution. Let's block the strait. The solution? This kind of feels like a Nathan Fielder skit or like a Nathan Fielder bit. Like, problem. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. Solution. We close the Strait of Hormuz as well. Okay. Okay. I don't think that's going to play out correctly, but sure. Yeah, okay. You know what? Why not?
We've got team coverage with Fox News correspondent Lucas Tomlinson.
To be honest, I'll take any Fox News coverage as long as it doesn't have Jesse, I slashed my wife's tires, waters.
In Islamabad, and Fox News chief correspondent Trey Hinks in Tel Aviv, Israel. Lucas, we begin with you.
Aisha, Vice President J.D. Vance became the most senior U.S. official to meet an Iranian delegation in nearly half a century. But he left here without a deal to end the war.
The simple fact is that we need to see an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon, and they will not seek the tools that would enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon.
Guys.
After negotiations that lasted throughout the night, the vice president left Pakistan early this morning. He made no mention of the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran says it fully controls. Another area of disagreement, sanctions relief. Iranian officials downplayed the significance of the high-level talks.
One should not have expected that we could reach an agreement in a single session. I don't think anyone had such an expectation.
While negotiations were ongoing, President Trump also appeared to downplay them.
We'll see what happens. Look, regardless, we win. Regardless what happens, we win.
I like how he's just giving away the game. By the way, it doesn't matter what happens. I'm just going to say we're going to win. Even if we're totally losing, we're winning. Even if we lost completely, we won.
Totally defeated that country. Whether we make it.
Guys, is this the female version of Hasan Piker? First of all, I'd like to say no, this is Patrick. But I would like to give a honorary mention to this answer. No, Hasan is the moid version of Denim.
Deal or not makes no difference.
With the USS George H.W. Bush aircraft carrier strike group heading into theater, along with thousands of Marines in the Pacific, additional forces will be on station when the ceasefire expires next week. And for now, no time or place has been set for a potential relaunch of the talks.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming.
Dude, where's Brian Kilmeade? Fuck you. Fucking get out looking ass bitch. All right. This is the next thing I wanted to cover with you guys. This post, it's a quote from Trump talking to Joe Rogan saying, "It's been a long time, Joe. I thought you were a patriot. You've been very quiet lately. Barron is upset. You're going to do better, okay?" Of course you will. Slap shoulders, good. Great, good choice.
Welcome.
Great to have President Trump with us here tonight. We all, of course.
Look at his stupid dumbass grin. Look at his fucking stupid dumbass posture, bro. Look at him. Ear to ear grin. What a sack of shit. I just didn't expect him to, like, I don't know, like, go to war. I just, like, I was groomed. How old is Joe Rogan? Like 50? I was groomed, and I just didn't know when Trump said he was going to deport all of the immigrants that he was going to deport all of the immigrants. Like, I feel like some of the immigrants don't deserve to be deported, and I just like didn't know. I just didn't know that. He's 58. I just didn't know that he was going to do that. I'm literally neurodivergent. I take ivermectin, and I'm literally a minor. If you pretend like I'm not 58, it's so weird. I didn't know. Look at how big Joe Rogan's shit-eating grin smile is. Well, he's got a lot of shit to eat.
We'll celebrate his 80th birthday.
Twirling some hair on his bald-ass head. Stop.
14th at UFC Freedom 250 on the White House lawn. Welcome.
What a pathetic loser, dude. What a fucking pathetic loser. Just blow him. It'd be less gay than this, man. Come on. Okay, but as a baby girl, 47 years old. Oh my God. What a piece of shit, too. He was just shitting on Trump on his show. He goes right back to blowing bubbles on it. Well, shitting on Trump is like, I just didn't expect him to do that to me. I didn't expect Trump to lie to me. I just didn't, instead of twirling his hair, he's like twirling his nipples. Like, I didn't expect that. Can't believe he would do that to me, lie to me personally. But he's a good guy. What you need to know. He's a really good guy. All right. Now, I'm not going to talk about the fact that he's almost certainly a pedophile and that he's definitely in the Epstein files more time than what Harry Potter is in the entirety of the Harry Potter series.
I
but
don't like Denims, like, at all, because her camera is so fucking big and it bothers me.
Trash Bunny, thank you for the 10 gift subs. Thank you. You're hurting my son's feeling is the most mafia shit I've ever heard him say. It's like, dude, when the fuck are people gonna wake? If you are a Joe Rogan fan in 2026, I need you to wake the fuck up. Wake up. Wake up, bro. Like, you are literally a peasant. You are actually living like a fucking serf. Oh, my Jesus. You're going to do better is a wild thing to say, or what? Well, again, Joe Rogan is one of those people that loves to say, like, men are always meant to be, men are just naturally supposed to be the position of leadership. You know, men like to lead and women need to follow, right? That's what needs to happen. That's just how it is, you know? and then immediately are the first people to fall in line and be like, whatever you want, whatever you want. I'll do anything. Could you just give me a playbook? Can you write my to-do list and I'll do all the chores and stuff? Anything you want. Okay. Anything you want. Okay. Bruh. So cringe, man. So fucking cringe. And there was this. Not this. This is for later. To be fair, one thing I will say is that you have to remember the average Joe Rogan fan is the type of person that sees this shit on TikTok. Absolutely losing it at this trend where guys who suck imagine the most noble sacrifice possible, and it's literally just them leaving their family forever. Let me read the post. If you walk out that door, your kids and wife won't ever struggle again, but they'll never know you existed. Walk through that door and everyone will get all their prayers answers, but you wouldn't exist. You walk out that door, your wife and kids are set for life, healthy and all prayers answered, but you no longer exist. You walk through that door, everyone you care about will have a perfect life, but you'll be gone forever. I would die for my family, motherfuckers, when their wife asked them to do the dishes. This post kills me every time. There has not been a single time I have seen this post and not immediately been given joy in my soul. It's this really old Matt Walsh post. It's literally from 2016. And Matt Walsh says, I would kill every ape in the world to save one human because humans are more important. This is a very simple concept, folks. And this random shit poster that said, would you suck every ape's dick to save one human? This shit kills me. Literally every time. Oh my God. Also, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I would kill every being, every species, or sorry, every single creature of a species to save one human, man. I don't know. There was this one post that I was reminded of that kind of always has lived in my head and is, I think, guided a lot of my worldview. Accidentally, or maybe not so accidentally. And it's this one. People be saying things so definitively, like, man, I think it depends. But actually, it's like, I don't know, man. You would definitively say you would kill every ape in the world to save one human? I don't know, man. I think that, like, depends. I don't know. Who's the person? I don't know. What are the ramifications of killing every ape? How does that impact, like, the ecosystem, bro? I don't know if I can definitively say I would kill every ape. For one I don't know, man. That seems bad. What if it's like a vegan? I don't even know if what if the person you were saving was like a vegan? Do you think that they would want you to kill every ape to save them? I don't know. That seems kind of like people be speaking so definitively. Like, man, I think it depends. Man, I think it depends. I don't know. Also, like, what if some of the apes are cool, man? They will never be her, and it's Madoka Magica. But there was a different post that I saw. This one kind of ate like crazy. They're depressed and fantasizing about a scenario where they are relieved from their burdens through non-existence without abandoning their responsibilities or inflicting the pain of grief on their loved ones. Realest shit I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so bored of, like, there are some, I feel like there are a lot of male fantasies that are just kind of fucking cool. All right. I feel like there are a lot of male fantasies. Like, I'm not going to lie. I feel very You'll be meeting me at a very man time in my life when I see a post and it's a pile of snow and the caption is, "What a great place to bleed out." I'm like, dude. Yeah. No. Like, yeah. I get you. I'm hearing you. I'm listening. I am receiving your message. And it's a good message. I agree. I agree, bro. I do. That is kind of hard. I'm not going to lie. Blade Runner 2049 moment. I'm just saying, you know, like that's a male fantasy that I can begin to respect. I can begin to respect that one. This is so sad and pathetic. You're making TikToks where the universe where all you have to do is give up all of your struggles in life and not exist, or no one will remember who you are. And you're like, I would bravely do that. And I know all of these fucking chuds, every one of these hogs is like, oh, you want me to do the laundry when you're sick? Oh, so you had some chemotherapy. Grow up. It's like, okay. Uh-huh. All right. Walk it off, bitch. I would bravely walk away. It's like, bruh, shut the hell up. None of them are carrying their Xbox. Not realistic. True. Real. Correct. Mayor Cat. Is this about getting drafted? I feel like it is. Maybe in like a, oh my god, this demon is so green. Maybe in some way it is. Mayor Cat, stop trying to take the curtains down. Stop. My stupid idiot chud son getting his nails caught in the fucking curtain. Isn't that just the plot to Madoka Magica? Yeah, but she has to suffer before she can have that. She doesn't get to be relieved of all of her responsibilities immediately. Or like, maybe a better example would be Homura. Like, she would give everything and has tried to give everything, but not without suffering first. Whereas this fantasy is like, I don't suffer at all, and then I just get to do one thing, and and everything is good, and I totally would do it. And it's like, no, you wouldn't. Shut up. Shut up, bro. Shut up. Silence. All right. No, there was something else I was going to show about this. Fuck. I don't even remember what it was. I went on that tangent, and then you guys know. You guys already know. Is she the one that uses the guns? I agree with her. Real. Homura fans, stand up. Can you guys please? Yes. Okay. Closing some tabs. Nothing to see here. But I would like to shift gears into what is by far one of the most insane things I've seen so far this timeline, this year. The opinion piece. He changed the title? Dude, the title was... Okay, all right. We're still in the same timeline, guys. That you can see, by the way, if you look up... Mayor Worm, stop. Stop! Mayor Worm, I have to control him. Must be... Worms. What was I talking about? Where we at? Oh, if you Google it, the caption, not the caption, the What is it called? I guess like the title hasn't changed on Google search. So the title on the Google search this is from 7 hours ago says, opinion, Hasan Piker is not the enemy. But when you click it, this is why there's no liberal Joe Rogan. Bro. Oh my God, dude. Who at the New York Times was beating the shit out of Ezra Klein? They were like, who the fuck do you think you are? I wonder if there were any changes made to the article before we got a chance to read it. Someone got a call? No, that's factual, dude. That's actually factual. All right. Close this. Hold up. One sec. When the archive version as well? Yeah, I'm trying to find that. So the archive version still shows the old title. It's pretty common for New York Times to change the title and byline. Well, yeah, it's usually they are doing like A/B testing, but that's still funny. That what they changed it to is this. But anyways, Hasan Piker is not the enemy. And it says after the fake news, his head looks too normal size in this. After the 2024 elections, wait, can I actually listen to this? Tired of talking. Tired of yapping. I'm outsourcing my labor. I can't. It's not working. Listen. Not working. After the 2024 elections, there was a panic among Democrats about the absence of a liberal Joe Rogan. Could one be found? Could one be created? It was an epic exercise in missing the point. You cannot have a liberal Joe Rogan because Rogan is not particularly political. His audience cohered around conversations with comedians, MMA fighters, bodybuilders, and psychonauts. That's what made him politically influential. He could reach millions of people who were not otherwise interested in politics. Okay, let me just say, he absolutely was political. He just appealed to a very dumb type of political person. An apolitical person would be, I'm trying to think of like, the most apolitical. There's a couple ideas that are coming into my brain, but I'm like, I want to find the best idea. There were a couple podcasts and YouTube channels that I've seen that are actually truly apolitical. And even those, it's hard to make anything truly apolitical. Oh, you know what? It'd be actually a pretty decent example. Someone like Markiplier, where like, and even he's still political about things. But Miss Rachel, no, that's objectively political. I'm trying to think of the least political creator online. Germa actually would be a pretty good example. Someone who mostly or almost exclusively spends their time doing something that is not political. Markiplier is political. He's just quiet about it. Well, yeah. So I'm like, that's not like, I'm trying to think of the best example. Burnt Peanut is not apolitical, bro. Be fucking for real. Moist Critical is not apolitical, bro. Northern Lion is not apolitical. Are you kidding me? What are you, crazy? Or are you actually a fool? Why are there people in here who've never watched Northern Lion? You know what? Actually, a true Northern Lion would write that just to bait me. So maybe you actually are the realest Northern Lion fan. Maybe he meant ape political. He is very ape-like, so I guess that would make sense. Derma's not a human being though, so it doesn't count. That's true. That is true. He's a creature. No, you're right. Hassan with a MAGA hat. Stupid. Fuck off, dude. Like, shut up. Silence. Maybe if I go to my YouTube, I can find something immediately. Wow. Guys, who made my entire YouTube channel political? Okay. You know what? Great example. I found it. The type of creators that make this content. This is probably as close as you can get to apolitical. There's no political image or messaging that I can discern. There's no intent to push people in one direction or another direction. Okay, to the people being like, well, this is political because, it's a small bakery trying to fight against Costco. No. I'm not talking about in the way that everything is political. I'm talking about the way that, like, things are intentionally political, okay? Segregation, shut up. You guys are so annoying. Okay, you guys are just baiting me. Stop. This is why we stun lock. This is chat's fault. It's chat's fault that I get stun locked, okay? A woman owning a business. Yeah, but it's a woman owning a business that is a bakery, which is a woman-coded job. So, you consider that we've gone woke into unwoke. Then maybe we can keep going woke and some. Moving on. Joe Rogan has never been apolitical. He's always been political. It's just that his political position has been, I'm a normal guy who talks about and cares about politics. Apolitical people do not talk about politics. I don't know if you guys have run into these people. There is a massive difference between centrist who talks to everyone and thinks everyone's a little weird and person who literally will get mad if you try to talk about politics. And I've had it happen before. When I've talked to people, I'm like, yeah, what do you think about this? And they're like, I don't talk about politics. I'm like at all? Yeah. I'm like, do you vote? And they're like, I don't talk about that. It's like, oh, okay. All right. No, we can only talk about things that are casual conversation. It's like, oh, all right. And I'm just like, sure. Okay. Whatever you say, man. Sure. I guess. Joe Rogan isn't apolitical. He's politically illiterate. It's not the same thing. Yeah. Whereas Joe Rogan talks about politics. He likes to talk about politics. He likes to talk about political issues. He likes to talk to people from different political leanings. And he likes to engage in these conversations as if he knows anything. And then also wants to have his cake and eat it too and pretend like he doesn't know anything. So he's never been apolitical. He's always been political. It's just that the political group he's appealed to are people who vote, but are fucking idiots and troglodytes and actually think both parties are exactly the same in every single way, and there are no candidates that you can trust except the anti-establishment, Trump. It's like, you almost had it for one moment, and then you lost the plot completely. You lost the plot literally completely. So continuing, the problem Democrats actually had, one of them anyway, is that they didn't like Rogan and criticized others for going on his show. They tried repeatedly to cancel him for his comments about trans people and his skepticism of the COVID vaccines. Well, I would go farther and call him an anti-vaxxer, but I don't know what else you would call someone who refuses the COVID vaccine, takes ivermectin. Maybe there are people who haven't seen him. COVID, ivermectin, Joe Rogan. Bro was like gray. He was literally gray. And he was like, I'm feeling pretty good. Day 3 of having, but I think the ivermectin is really kicking in because I'm starting to shit a lot, which is probably not good, but that's okay. Like, bro was jaundiced. I'll let you guys know if I find it, but neither here nor there. Kitchen sink politics. I mean, kind of, yeah. At least no more worms. And also, when is the Democratic Party going to learn? Telling people you can't do this is, one, kind of makes people want to do it more, but also two, doesn't work. Like the stop, you can't do this. No, guys, you're not supposed to go on those podcasts is never going to work. Why? Because it's a position on the defense and it's not a position on the offense. And you have to eventually take some positions on the offense. And Democrats just hate going on the offense. They're just always on the defense. To the extent that he is now a right-coded figure, it's not because he started that way. Yes, he did. Rogan's political views are mixed. He backed Bernie Sanders in 2020. He supports universal health care and abortion rights. He dislikes vaccine. Well, that's because it makes him feel good. Those are positions that make him feel good. Whereas if you talk to him about like universal like childcare, or you talk to him about like universal dental care, or talk to him about universal school, like free college, he'll be like, I don't know that we have the money for that. How are we going to get, like, when talking about housing migrants, he literally said, how do we have the money? I don't think we have the money for that. He likes the idea of those things, But the second he doesn't like the idea of those things, he just goes and leans back on the classic right-wing talking point of, well, how are we going to have the money for that? He dislikes vaccine mandates and lacks border control, but it shouldn't have been a surprise when after years. Also, when it comes to taxing the rich, he has bizarre takes. He like flip-flops and says, yeah, okay, a little bit of taxing too. You know, we literally are the ones, us millionaires and billionaires, we literally are the ones that create value in society. You can't do that. You can't tax us. Like, what the hell? All right. More people are going to go on the Hasan show now that they know he does Hot Ones level research and will give you warm iced tea. True. He dislikes vaccine mandates, lacks border controls, but it shouldn't have been a surprise when, after years of being attacked by the left, he endorsed Donald Trump in 2024. This is the most pathetic baby brain shit I've ever seen in my life. Literally, it has not happened once that being shamed for my political opinions has made me change my political opinions. That other people being mean to me has made me change them. People making good arguments has made me change them. People making arguments about why I couldn't respond to and had no answer to has made me change my positions. Being shamed has never made me change my positions. There has never been a person that said like, ew, feminism is so icky and it makes women, it's destroying our society. It's actually destroying our society. All this feminism is destroying. I have never once heard that and thought, dude, true, I should be less of a feminist. No. No. Are you kidding me? That's so cringe. Whereas if someone says, well, I don't agree with like this particular author in the feminist movement and her portrayal of men, and usually Andrea Dworkin, maybe I'll move a position based on facts. But this whole like, well, people were attacking him so much that he just had to endorse Donald Trump. He had no other choice. Just really mean for him. Fuck off, dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's literally a requirement. It is literally a requirement to be attacked by the left if you are on the left. There is no one that is on the left that has not been attacked by the left. It sounds like if you got attacked and it hurt your feelings so bad you became a right-winger, you were just a right-winger. Okay? I don't know what to tell you, man. That's just, it's so cringe. Reactionary moment. Yep. Infighting is what binds us. True. Okay, but it shouldn't have been a surprise. Okay, no. The simplest way to tell people which side they're on is to tell them how much your side hates them. Famously, the left doesn't hate Hasan. Famously, everyone on the left loves Hasan. That brings me to a more important than it might look controversy that has burst out over the leftist streamer Hasan Piker. He had a breakout moment over the past year as Democrats began obsessing over the absence of a liberal Joe Rogan, and Piker, who mixes leftist politics with bro-ish aesthetic, was proffered as a possible answer, a category error, because again, the whole point of Rogan's political power is that his show mostly avoids politics. No, that is not true. What is this characterization, Ezra Klein? But pick over Piker's years of streaming, and you can find offensive things he said, amongst them America deserved 9/11, that his favorite flag is Hezbollah's, that a liberal Zionist is akin to a liberal Nazi. I mean, yes. Okay, I don't even understand what the point is of the last one. You can't be a liberal pro-ethno-state committing genocide person. There's no way to be liberal about that. Oh, I'm a liberal about how much I love when this country does a genocide, but because they have to, for their ethno-state that they have to have. Huh? Sorry, could you just go back a couple steps? Just go back a little bit, just like a couple steps there. Just like can you just go back? Can you just go back like a couple? What did you just say? That's not. Okay. All right. All right. Streamer has said offensive things isn't really a news story, but then Abdullah Saeed the more DSA-ish candidate in the Democratic Senate Party, primary in Michigan began rallying with Piker. That led Third Way, a centrist group that previously demanded that Democrats draw a line in the sand and shun Hasan Piker and his fellow, quote, Jew haters to send a letter to El Sayed demanding details about how closely you align with his most abhorrent views. Jonathan Greenblatt, the head of the Anti-Defamation League, said Piker reflected the dangerous normalization of anti-Semitism in our politics. All right, dude. Okay. All right. Whatever you say, man. The ADL, by the way, which saw Elon Musk doing a Nazi salute twice and said, he's just a little autistic, is all. That's crazy because, like, I know lots of autistic people and none of them have ever done a Nazi salute ever. You could say that about his little, like, silly little fruity jump that he does when Elon Musk does a little, like, X jump. He's like, you guys know the one I'm talking about? Sure. Okay. I feel like it's kind of rude. It almost feels ableist to call that behavior autistic because I feel like you're taking away a lot of swag and riz from autistic people, but whatever, sure. If you're doing a Nazi salute, that's not because of your autism, bro. Huh? Okay, continuing. Politico then asked a number of possible 2028 Democratic hopefuls whether they would appear on Piker's show. Gavin Newsom, Emmanuel said that they would. Representative Rokana, AOC already had and said that they would. Senators Cory Booker, Gallego, and Slotkin said that they wouldn't. Which, by the way, I don't know how many of you guys saw the Slotkin post. I totally forgot to show it to you guys yesterday, but it's okay because we got perfect timing to show it to you guys today with this article. The Slotkin post was amazing. This Austinox tweet. Girl, you are beefing with a Twitch streamer. You are not making it past Iowa.
I talked with Hasan Piker this week, and he essentially said that there was a double standard on you going on Bill Maher's show versus his Twitch stream. Do you want to respond to that?
Well, first of all, I've never been invited on his stuff, and I've gone on Bill Maher a bunch of times. Look, I have said repeatedly, like, I gotta call balls and strikes, whether it's anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, coming from the state that I come from. And so that's what I've tried to do as he's come into Michigan. And, I think there are a ton of podcasts or, invites that I've not taken. And every politician has to make their choice. They have to make a decision about what they're going to go on. So I've been on Bill Maher, I think this is my 4th time. That's just how I feel, given some of the things that were said.
And which strikes does Hasan hit? What are his strikes?
Strikes?
Which strike? You said balls and strikes.
Oh,
what are his strikes?
I think for me,
Yes, House of Rice. These are dope. These are so dope. Not sponsored.
Some derogatory things he said about Orthodox Jews. Saying that we deserve 9/11. Like, there's some things in there. Not to mention, he calls me stupid like every other week. So I just...
Girl, you are beefing with a Twitch streamer. You are not making it past Iowa. Oh my God. It's insane that none of these politicians see the opportunity to come off well-informed and appealing. They don't see that as like an opportunity on that broadcast. Because I'm going to tell you guys something really quickly. Let me say, this is my my biggest criticism, I would say, I think right now of Hasan. And I'm not claiming it's easy. It is very difficult. And I'm sure people who are really good at it, like Crystal Ball and Mehdi Hasan, spent many years practicing it and getting it to the point that they can easily debate and pressure politicians. But I will say Hasan sometimes has and he's gotten a lot better at it, I think. He has sometimes very, like, softball questions for people. Like, I think he could give harsher questions to people. But again, that's like a skill. That is a skill that you build up over time. And he's, you know, you kind of can't get better at anything unless you're actively practicing it. One great example of someone who does actually asks really good questions is Mehdi Hasan. Mehdi Hasan's conversation with Mamdani was amazing. Like, he really needles him on it. He really needles him on what he thinks about Hakeem Jeffries. He needles him on what he thinks about Chuck Schumer. He needles him on the Democratic Party. And when Mamdani awkwardly, that's the only time I've seen Mamdani get kind of like frame mogged a little. He sheepishly is like, well, I just want to focus on New York. And Mehdi Hasan looks at him and says, listen, I'm on your side, but people are going to ask you these questions, so you should be prepared for them. Like, maybe right now, you know, that shtick can work, and it is working, and you should keep doing it. But eventually, you do become a voice for Democrats and for people who vote Democrats, and your voice starts to matter. Even if you're just the mayor, you should have answers on where you want the Democratic Party to go and whether or not you agree with the leadership of Chuck Schumer. Like, he really is good, first of all, at coaching, but also at like needling and asking difficult questions without humiliating the other person. It's really amazing stuff. Hasan recognizes it too. I remember him mentioning this as in contrast to Mehdi's strengths. Also, yeah, this is not an invite to backseat. And I'm not claiming that this is easy. In the moment, it is very difficult. I mean, like Crystal Ball, when she needled Slotkin and said, so why won't you call it a genocide? That was amazing. Like, I literally, I couldn't believe it. That was pure cinema. But she's even talked about how that was after years of being on mainstream media and just like fucking up interviews and fucking up questions and fucking up conversations. Like, it's a skill you build over time, just like everything else. So I think Hasan is like, he's building that skill, especially, and I think it's like in 2026, he's brought on like 20 candidates or something crazy. I saw like a post on it. And I think he will get better. And I think he has gotten better. There was who was it? There was someone he brought on that like, actually, he did a really good job questioning them. Like, blanking on the name. Oh, I'm not going to be able to remember. It's maybe someone else. Tom Steyer. Yeah, he did a great job with Tom Steyer. He actually did such a good job with him. There were a lot of good hardball questions there. Because it takes it's not just there's a couple of are you saying Slotkin would go on a show if he played hardball? No, I'm making a completely different criticism. I'm saying that like it's a tightrope to walk, to both ask hardball questions, but still not make the other person so uncomfortable that they feel like other people can't go on the show and other people can't talk to you. Like, you have to be generous and also ask difficult questions. And I think Mehdi really has like perfected this, where he's really good at asking difficult questions, but not in an attempt to actively destroy or rip someone to shreds and humiliate them. Like, it always feels like he's kind of like looking out for you. It's like your professor that thinks you're a fucking idiot and is helping you out. Unless he wanted to, in which case he absolutely would. So he's been doing a lot of work lately that I've been respecting and I think has been really cool. But I would love to see him improve that skill. Because it is, and I'm not saying that I can do it, to be very clear. It's not easy to do. It is a very difficult feat to accomplish. If you put me or anyone else on the spot that agrees with me on this, it is not easy to do. Think about conversations you have just with your friends and family where there are no stakes and no one's watching, and you can struggle with like, how do I ask questions that are difficult without making this person so upset or uncomfortable that they like walk off, right? I like the fact that Hasan is vulgar in commentary but invites friendly candidates on the show. I agree. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about there. One second. Thank you for normalizing it. Even things I know turn into word salad when you're on the spot. Oh, for sure. Oh, 100%. But I do think he would benefit from, when it comes to people that he potentially could have on the show, lightening the commentary a little bit. Like someone like Cory Booker, I don't think that guy is ever going to go on a show. He's literally never gone on a single difficult podcast ever. Someone like Slotkin, who kind of did go and accidentally get railed by by Crystal Ball, I think there's a chance she would go. I feel like if he was capable of, and he is capable, I feel like if he recognizes the people that he could potentially bring on the show and then be a little bit softer on them on like day-to-day streams, he could give them hardball questions when they come on the stream. And that would be amazing. That would be so dope. I would love to see that. She probably wouldn't now. No, of course not. I think now it's not possible. I think now she's like her perception of his son. Booker did get blindsided on I've Had It podcast. Yeah. I think that there is some appeal to like having the respectability politics, the like wink wink. But I also think like, to be fair, sometimes chat is, especially when you have like a chat that big, when you have 30,000 chirpers, I do think some chatters can be very annoying. Some chatters can be very annoying and they're like, why are you being nice to this candidate? Why are you being generous to this candidate? It's like, maybe he wants to bring them on, bro. Maybe he wants to bring them on, and maybe shitting on them relentlessly is going to make them less likely to want to get on the show. Maybe it's worthwhile, and then when it feels like that there's no way that would happen, then you can shit on them relentlessly. Like, Ted Cruz is never going on the Hasan broadcast. Shit down his throat as much as you want. You wouldn't be the first, and definitely not the last. But I do think that there are people in the middle there that he could absolutely like bait and switch. So yeah, I think that there's a lot there that we can do, or there's a lot I think everyone can work on, chatters and streamers alike. Let's finish that. Sorry, classic denim stream. Pausing right before the video ends.
What normal human being would choose to go on a show?
Maybe if he offered MILF watch party, maybe Ted Cruz might indulge.
When someone calls you stupid every 10 days. So it's not going to be something I do.
Okay, maybe I have like copium brain. I don't know. But I feel like if you could get on Hasan's... Oh, I remember why I said all of this. ADHD moment. If you watch Hasan's stream, you watch the way that he speaks to other senators, representatives, and people running for office, you'll find that he's actually, especially if he thinks you are a good candidate, but especially if he thinks you can change as a candidate, he definitely not the scariest person to talk to. If I was a candidate, I would be terrified to speak to Ryan the Grim Reaper. I'd be terrified to speak to Mehdi Hasan. I'd be kind of scared to speak to Crystal Ball. I don't feel like you should be terrified to talk to Hasan. I don't feel like that should be. I feel like you just pull up with some fucking weeb merch and you've already like brought down his defenses like 500%. Like you're at a massive advantage now. God forbid you know some serious One Piece lore. Oh, it's over. It's cooked. He's done. It's just over. He's gonna be like, wow, you did the equivalent of bringing me my iced tea. What the fuck? And you come and you start with, wait a minute, with like 5 really good policies. He would be, and he has been very generous, which I think is a good thing in a lot of ways. So you as Slotkin here, if we were Slotkin, Charlie Kirk, and we were carrying the flame, how is this not the best opportunity you would ever have to try and rehab your image? Like, you won't even go on someone whose show wouldn't even be that brutal to you, or like the person who leads the show, the host, wouldn't even be that brutal to you. And all you have to do is come ultra prepared. You could rehab your image so well with someone like Hasan. And maybe this is like, I'm wrongfully categorizing this as like skill issue, but like skill issue. If he's calling you stupid and you get on his show and you own the shit out of him and he has no comebacks, okay, well, who's the real stupid one? Now, the problem, however, with someone like Slotkin is that she can never say anything bad about Israel. So she would lose. But it's hilarious for her to say this, where it's like, dude, fuck off. Like, this is Whatever. Also, if you truly believe he's so bad and you're running as someone who will fight Trump, but you can't even go on Hasan's show and stand up to him, you aren't genuine. I will fight Trump, but I will be scared of this streamer who calls me stupid. Bro. I got nothing for you. I got nothing for you, man. I got nothing for you. Politicians outright being like, I'm a coward. It's like, a message that will definitely resonate with voters. Okay. Excellent. Continuing in the article. Streamer has said offensive things. Okay, where were we? Oh, my typing. Ezra Klein fucking... You would think Ezra Klein is a leftist with how much he'd be typing, bro. Ah. I think there's rather a lot wrapped up in this controversy, so let's take it piece by piece. Is Piker a Jew hater, as Third World alleges? In an interview with writer Aaron Regenberg, Piker addressed some of his worst comments. I find some of his answers compelling and others less so. The comparison of liberal Zionists to Nazis, for example, is repugnant. Are you kidding me? Fuck off. And not much improved by Piker clarifying that he opposes ethnostates. What made the Nazis notable wasn't their support for an ethnostate. Ethnostates are common. Huh? Brother? What made the Nazis notable was their effort to exterminate the Jewish people, and Piker's assertion that his opposition is to all reactionary ideology is hard to square with his admiration for Hezbollah. Yes, saying the flag is cool is exactly the same. Okay, all right, dude. Let me just say really quickly. I guess if you just ignore the genocide of the people in Gaza, yeah, then there's no similarity at all. Yeah, if you look at this poster, this flowchart I made, actually this image, and it's just a picture of one stick figure, and I put a little smiley face on him, and I labeled him IDF member. And then if you look at this other stick figure I drew right here, and it's just a little smiling face on the stick figure, and they're holding hands. This one says Palestinian. You see, according to this diagram, do you think that the Nazis did this with the Jews? Do you think that they did that? Yeah, I didn't think so. So if you think about the world that doesn't exist, this is not similar at all. Are you kidding me? Also, this is the part that killed me. The thing that made the Nazis bad was just the Holocaust against Jews, not the trade unionists, leftists, gypsies, gays, disabled. Well, gypsies is a slur. You're not supposed to say that, but the Romani people, yeah. It's like, no, I think actually it was the whole ethno-state problem, because when you want an ethno-state, you inherently are going to remove all the people that don't fit into that ethno-state. And that was not just genociding Jewish people. It was particularly heinous what they did to the Jewish people, and probably the worst part of, or I think everyone would agree, the worst part of the Holocaust and the worst part of Nazi Germany. But that is not to take away from all of the other marginalized groups that were murdered, enslaved, or tortured by the Nazis. No. Continuing. To focus only on those comments is to miss much else that Piker has said and believes. He has also said, from pogroms to the Holocaust, Jews have always been singled out by those in power as a scapegoat for instability and economic volatility that people in power caused. A resilient nation, anti-Semitism is a constant threat. He has called anti-Semitism gross, immoral, and a hate crime. He was promoted by John Ossoff, a Democratic senator from Georgia who is Jewish, a 2028 presidential possibility. In previous presidential primaries, Piker supported Bernie Sanders, who was also Jewish. It's an unusual form of Jew hatred that calls out anti-Semitism and promotes Jewish Americans for presidency. I have deep disagreements with Piker, but he isn't a Jew hater. He's an anti-Zionist, and here I think the real stakes of this fight come into view. What the hell? This is like, I'm kind of in awe. This is, I think, the most generous read I have seen in any mainstream news network or journal ever of Hasan. Holy. Ezra Klein having awareness is wild. I don't understand. From the abundance guy, who would have guessed? Holy Toledo. Maybe Ezra Klein hasn't seen the content new. Is that what, do you guys think about that though? Do you guys think about that though? I love this new arc for Ezra though. Okay, where are we? No, I already read that. A Gallup poll from February found for the first time more Americans sympathize with Palestinians than with Israelis. Among Democrats, the gap was overwhelming, with 65% who sympathized more with Palestinians and 17% with the Israelis. The difference, as I have argued, is largely generational. Older Americans still view the Israelis more sympathetically, but Americans age 18 to 34, 53% sided with Palestinians and 23% with Israelis. This is new. Before 2023, young people and Democrats were more likely to side with the Israelis. This is not the result of an international psyop or the profusion of memes. The Israel that young people know is not the Israel that old people remember. It responded to the savagery of October 7th by flattening Gaza in a brutal campaign that killed at least 70,000 Gazans. The low ball is crazy. It's in the hundreds of thousands. Taking control of more than half of the territory and herding Gazans, more than 2 million people, into the remainder. And they still bombed that area as well. So, like, life there remains hellish. Israel's made hopes for a two-state solution fanciful by slicing the West Bank up into Israeli settlements and abetting constant settler violence and keeping the boot on the throat of Palestinian Authority. Holy shit. Wait, calling out any amount of calling out of Israel accurately? What the? It has used the Iran war as the opportunity to launch an invasion of Lebanon, displacing more than 1 million people, announcing that as many as 600,000 won't be able to return to their homes until Israel decides otherwise. By the way, they were already drawing up plans. The Israeli government was already drawing up plans about how to chop that area up into a bunch of settlements for the people of Israel. The Knesset just voted to legalize hanging as a punishment for Palestinians who are convicted of killing Israelis in terrorist attacks. By the way, the death penalty is only in place for Palestinians. It is not in place for Jewish Israelis. Isn't that great? Isn't that good? That's how you know your society is on the right track. You have the death penalty, but only for one group. But only for one group. And then you have Ben-Gvir cheering about how excited he is to kill the Palestinians and showing off the noose chambers and being like, and this is where we're going to kill the children, and this is where we're going to kill the women, and this is where we're going to kill the men, and here's where we're going to kill the pregnant women. I mean terrorists. Sorry. Sorry, I'm just really excited, you know? And if you think I'm exaggerating on how giddy he was, I don't recommend watching that video. That video, like, made me want to physically vomit. Like, bro was literally showing off the death chambers for Palestinians and ear to ear grinning about it. Third way suggests you can identify Jew haters by their use of loaded words taught in social justice seminars: apartheid, genocide, settler colonialism. Huh? If that is the test, then a large number of American Jews now fail it. Israel, as it is behaving today, and as it is constructing itself for tomorrow, is incompatible with any normal understanding of liberal values. There will be no Palestinian state to the west of the Jordan River, Benjamin Netanyahu has said. For years, I have prevented the creation of that terror state against tremendous pressure, both domestic and from abroad. We have done this with determination and with astute statesmanship. Moreover, we have doubled the Jewish settlement in Judea and Samaria, and we will continue on this path. Wow. Does the New York Times know about this? Does the New York Times know about this? Next paragraph is actually fire. Stop pre-watching. You're pre-reading. Anti-Zionism is rising as a response to what Israel is doing. It will simply not be possible to treat it as a marginal viewpoint that can be shamed or shunned into invisibility. Yes, anti-Semitism often cloaks itself in anti-Zionism, so don't do the anti-Semites work for them. If you keep telling people that if they oppose the Jewish state, then they must hate the Jewish people, eventually they will believe you. Oh, it's that one. It's that one GIF. I have to say, probably by far one of the most offensive things I've seen is like the constant desire to frame anyone who criticizes Israel as anti-Semitic. Like, incredible. All you've done is reduce and diminish actual anti-Semitism and reduce and diminish people's understanding or opinion or belief when anti-Semitism is actually occurring. Yay! Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Incredible. I mean, I know that it's off topic, completely off topic, to be honest with you, but this is what I was talking about yesterday when we were talking a little bit about Sykkuno. For people who missed it, the VOD should be up, I think. But when we're talking about failures by people or failures by states, and we're using specific words to talk about these issues, we have to be, collectively, people have to be more accurate in that wording because it diminishes those words. And this is not in the when right-wingers are like, if you call everything a Nazi and fascist, then nothing is, when you're actually accurately describing it and can defend it. As long as you can accurately describe it and defend it, great. I'm sorry, all the people who were like, Trump is not fascistic. He would never be fascistic. Trump would never be fascistic in office. It's like, dude, you're just like an idiot. You're just like actually a fucking idiot, dude. All right, dude. The impulse to cut off those whom we disagree with reaches far beyond Piker or the Israel-Palestinian debate. It sits at the heart of the cancellation. As a political tactic, it relies on a belief in the power of gatekeepers that might have been true in an earlier age, but no longer reflect the way attention is earned and held. Tucker Carlson was ejected from Fox News and grew stronger on X and YouTube. Nick Fuentes was banned from major social media platforms and gathered strength in the shadows. Trump went, well, by the shadows, do you mean particular C. Samstony? Trump went from being banned by every major social media platform to retaking the presidency. But it's not that cancellation that has failed to silence those it targeted. It also weakened... It also weakened those who used it. The Democratic Party and the progressive movement was ill-served by the belief that it could decide the boundaries of acceptable debate. In narrowing who it could talk to, it limited what it could hear and whom it could be heard by. I mean, to be clear, I do think that there are limits on who someone should talk to, especially a political candidate. Like, I don't really think any political candidate needs to speak to, like, Nick Fuentes. I don't think that there's anything to learn there or to talk about there. But for someone who's widely accepted as pretty, I'm sorry. If you actually break down someone's positions and none of their positions are extreme, what the fuck are you afraid of, dude? Oh, yes, the extreme position of, checks notes, being against an ethno-state. Checks notes, wanting Medicare for all. Checks notes, taxing billionaires. Yeah, those are really extreme and morally reprehensible. So true, like, bro. I've been on Rogan's show. I've been on some of the shows in the broader universe, like Andrew Schultz, Flagrant, and Lex Friedman's podcast. I was surprised by how frustrated the hosts were about their inability to book Democrats in 2024. They had said things that the broader progressive universe disliked, or had conversations with people who were anathema to the left, and so Democrats largely avoided these podcasts, ceding them to the Trump campaign. Oh my God, there's still so much more. I'm like, yappers, bro. Honestly, my broadcast, I feel that. Sorry, I haven't been on Rogan's show. I don't know if I accidentally said I've been on Rogan's show. This was not only bad politics, but also bad democratic practice. These shows had come from nowhere and gained millions of loyal listeners. They had earned their viewership by voicing something that made millions of Americans feel seen, heard, or at least interested. In avoiding these spaces, Democrats avoided contact with these kinds of voters they otherwise claimed to represent. This is the mistake Democrats often make when they talk about what they did wrong in 2024. They realize now that they should try to talk to the people who listen to these shows. They are less likely to realize that they should listen to the people who talk on these shows. Beneath this is an important principle. Conversation is not a reward to be bestowed on those whom we agree. It is a necessary habit in democracy. The point is not to find agreement so much as to deepen understanding. To talk with others is to believe in the possibility of change. Theirs and your own, whether you like everything that someone has said, should be severed from the question of whether that person is worth talking to. God damn. Oh my God. This is actually a pretty, other than like the parts that were fucking horrible, this is actually a really good piece. The space for conversations was once wider. In 1968, William F. Buckley, arch-conservative founder of National Review, hosted Cleaver, the Minister of Information for Black Panthers, on firing line. Neither man was there to endorse others' politics. I should like to begin by asking Mr. Cleaver whether he finds it consistent with his ideology to encourage the assassination of Mr. Richard Nixon. Cleaver's answer was, I would say that Richard Nixon was assassinated, that if Richard Nixon was assassinated, it would only result in having another pig in line who possibly would need to be assassinated. Buckley later hosted Cleaver at his home. It was a different time, but it created a lasting artifact. The interview has hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube and remains riveting to watch. Average liberals like, no, you can't talk to anyone who has any opinions about bad people in office. Are there people who I won't have on my shows or I won't go on? Sure, but those judgments for me are more about what I think would be productive rather than who I think can be included. Similarly, I won't judge Booker or Gallagher or Slotkin for avoiding Piker's show. They're busy people. It might not be how they want to spend their time, but there's something strange about aspiring to lead the country's left-wing coalition and elevating the avoidance of prominent leftists as a matter of principle. Well, the problem is that none of these people want to go on any show that would ever question them. If they genuinely are like, okay, Piker's a little too extreme, go talk to Mehdi. Go talk to Mehdi Hasan. What has he said that's so extreme? Oh, nothing. You're just a cowardly little bitch that doesn't want to have their fucking feet held to the fire. Like, literally, fuck off, dude. That's all the more true now as attention isn't bestowed on the chosen few by television networks and newspaper editors. It's won or lost in a ferocious marketplace that rewards outrage and controversy. The winners of the attention wars today are typically people who said some outrageous things in the past or are still saying them in the present. When you're dealing with podcasters or streamers who talk unstructured and unrehearsed for hours each week, if not every day, there's going to be so much said that it's almost inevitable that a dossier of dumb statements can be compiled. To write those people out of acceptable political discourse is to back yourself into a shrinking, sanitized corner of the public sphere. If someone is streaming for let me compare this to mainstream media. Compare it even to someone like Candace Owens, who's kind of like an old head in like political punditry. She streams once a week for like an hour? Maybe even less. Maybe she streams more in the individual moments, but I'm pretty sure last I checked, she only streams like once a week. Most people in like the political punditry sphere don't do live streaming often, if at all. And when they do, they only do like an hour or 2 hours, maybe a week or something. If you're streaming on Twitch and you're doing politics the way that the people on the left are doing politics right now on Twitch, we're streaming like anywhere from 20 to 40 hours a week or more. In Hasan's case, that's like an absurd number. It's even more obscene than that. The fact that there are so few clips in tens of thousands of hours is kind of impressive. It's kind of impressive. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, even myself, all of the worst clips I have that I've seen, the worst clips I've seen of me. And it's like, it's maybe a couple minutes of, some of them are completely misrepresented and other ones are clip chimped. And the parts that you would be able to criticize, any of them at all, which could have been phrased better, it's like 0.000000001% of my stream. Less. The fact that Hasan has, like, 5 quotes that people turn to over the 20,000 hours? Okay. Mike said AOC should do fireside streams once a week and she would win by 50. I 100% agree. Totally true. Absolutely correct. Totally correct. Permission to wake and bake, chef? Permission granted. But I want to continue. Let's see. Booker admitted on Pod Save America that when he had said he would never go on Piker's show, he had never heard of Piker. His communication director had read him a list of 4 or 5 of the worst things Piker said, and Booker used that as a basis for his response. Booker got piled on for that admission, but I appreciate the honesty. That is in practice a version of how many of us make our judgments. Algorithmic media is an engine of motivated decontextualization. We see other people in snippets that serve the agendas of those who cut them. We are fed 30-second clips shorn from multi-hour streams, 2-sentence quotes ripped from long conversations, old comments that obscure subsequent change. We have to be careful about being lulled into believing these shards represent anyone's whole person. We should not be afraid of finding out who those people are, of seeking to change them, or of allowing ourselves to be changed by them. You know what, Ezra Klein? Keep at it, bro. You know what, Ezra Klein? Keep at it, and maybe you'll find some love on the left. Not yet. Not after that abundance shit, bro. That shit was awful. But you know what, man? Fucking keep at it, bro. We could give him a silver star sticker for this assignment. He gets 1 sticker. He gets 1 sticker on the sticker board. All right. You know what? Maybe Ezra Klein can be changed. Yeah. He can't be trusted until he's at least fired from the New York Times. Low-key kind of true. Low-curcumanly kind of true. He's not on my good side yet, but I now will not jump him if I ever see him. He dodged that one. Yeah. Right-wingers see that and be like, you obviously couldn't have been joking. If he says abundance, do we take away the sticker? Yeah. He gets a sticker, but he's far from a good noodle. He probably is only doing this because he can read the room that the attacks aren't working. He's still my enemy. Well, yeah, I mean, listen, I will just say it's so easy for establishment Democrats to and liberals to just shit on anyone that is vaguely on the left. It's so easy to shit on Hasan. Like, it's literally, there is an entire industry on YouTube that makes anti-Hasan content. That they pay their bills making anti-Hasan content. It is so easy to do that. And there's no punishment for it. If anything, you just profit off of doing that. So anyone who's willing to be like a little bit honest and say, listen, man, shouldn't we try and have these conversations? You know what? You get at least half a sticker. At least. Okay? And if it's just because he's reading the room and recognizing when a fight is lost, I'll fucking take it. All right? I'll take it. Don't give me ideas. Sorry, my bad. My bad. Such a good photo, though. This is a pretty iconic photo. I can't get over the Laura Loomer photos with him sleeping freaky. I can't believe she literally took creep shots. Dude, I can't believe she took those creep shots of him. That was so weird. If I was sleeping on a plane and someone took those creep shots of me, I would be like, ah! Well, sorry, she didn't take them. Someone sent them to her. One of her agents took them and then sent them to her. Oh. But, okay, neither here nor there. I think we actually got to all the things in the title. Yes! Let's go! Yes! All right. It is always a good day. It is always a winning day. I always give myself an A+ when I get through everything in my title, which means you guys already know what time it is, bitch. That's right. It's motherfucking Resident Evil 2 time. Oh, yes. It's time to shit. Oh, yes. For Politics Frogs, I will see you again. I may or may not stream tomorrow. I'm not sure. We'll see how I'm feeling. So maybe tomorrow. If not, the latest it will be Thursday. I don't know why that took me a second. I'm fried. So latest we will stream on Politics again is Thursday. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday. We'll see. For Gaming Frog, very shortly, because we're going to go play some Resident Evil 2. And for everyone, please stay hydrated. Let me get this shit cooking. Wait a minute. Oh, I just forgot. Ugh. It's work. Oh, good. It still works. Okay, great. For everybody else, stay hydrated. Tell your homies that you love them. And I will see all of you guys in the next one, everyone. Bye.